Got the job on Keefe, so Keefe going forward. Ben Reid starting back in defence with Brown and O'Brien. And we're underway. Brisbane versus Collingwood, side bottom. Gets the first disposal. High ball and beautifully taken by Wellingham. He drives into the pocket and there is Cloak. Straight into the frame, taking the mark. And we'll go back and shoot for goal.
Yeah, it's a bit hard to defend against midfield clearances like that, and that was a really nice short pass to Travis Cloak, and one out basically in the forward 50. Good lead, good double lead, and just nice little chest mark. We know with Clokey, he gets off to a flyer with a straight kick. He's going to be in for a big night.
Well, he's been pretty accurate this year with 15 goals, 8, and that's a fine start.
Well, sure, that's not what the Lions look like, but from your side of the fence, I would have thought clearances like this, just gold.
Well, I'm just looking at Sharon Wellingham now. Sharon Wellingham's a very smart player. That is too easy. I'm trying to pick up the player who was playing.
Drummond, I think.
Was that Drummond?
Yeah.
That is not good enough for a senior player to be pushed off the ball in a marking contest and then allowed to just swing around and hit a player like that. You're not going to stop it.
So Patfull has the job on Travis Cloak. It's certainly not the start he was after. Cloak standing about 35 metres out from goal, and that was outside the circle, so we'll need a rebounce there.
And it is an unusual one. I mean, Travis Cloak does cover a lot of distance, so that's maybe why Michael Voss has opted for Joel Patfull. Very good athlete in his own right.
I'd be taking him to the top of the square right now.
I think that's the go.
Rains, one of the players to come back, of course, from suspension for the Lions. Spreading it wide. O'Brien wins the race and guides it for side bottom. One of the players that, of course, has to just up the ante a little bit in the absence of the likes of Luke Ball and Thomas. We know Ben Johnson added to that list. We'll discuss that as the night continues, what impact that might have on Collingwood's chances. Hanley, Rains,
Great tackle.
Hanley, yeah, good intensity from the Pies. Sinclair, who adds plenty of that hardness around the packs. He shows plenty of enthusiasm as a young man coming into the team.
Just having a look at some of those midfield matchups, looks like Rains has gone to Pendlebury as expected, and looks like Redden's gone to Swan.
And you can hear the thump of bodies against bodies in the middle. Pendlebury, Wellingham. Hard one to control for Maguire. Oh, Goldsack. There's knees and bodies everywhere. Golby was involved for the Lions. Wonga couldn't quite control it. It works out the side with side bottom. Here's Didak, back on the move, back kicking towards goal. And it was just astray, but only just.
It was, just pulled it to the right a little bit, but Travis Cloak was on the lead and probably had a lot of space. May have been the option, but Alan Didak, he kicks those 8 times out of 10. Would have been a great return for him.
So Hanley darting and kicking out to the wing. Longer there. Well done from Tuvey. Here's Carnesis. Had to really take 4 or 5 weeks to work his way into this Brisbane team, despite a promising start last year to his AFL career. McGrudd. Now they're on here, Lions. They had the loose one over the top. Merritt kicks it with plenty of penetration. Now they're outnumbered deep. Jonathan Brown finds it mission impossible.
Yeah, the switch is on here for the Collingwood. They've spread well to the far side of the ground.
And that's Sinclair, who takes it at half back. And Keefe.
Young Brisbane boy.
Yeah.
First time this year up forward.
Yes, of course, they tried him as a ruckman as a youngster when he first went to the club and then back, but he had to play forward last year in the absence of Dawes, and Dawes absent again tonight, so he's back in the forward half of the ground. Under pressure, Hanley. Drummond comes to lend a hand, and McGrath, and they take it through.
So you have to play a bit of time in the ruck, you suggest as well, Hutto. Keefe, forward, and when Cameron Wood wants a spell.
Yep.
Another former Brisbane boy, or certainly played with the Lions.
So Drummond, great to have his kicking prowess back in this Brisbane team because they need some penetration. Hawksley feeding it back to Banfield.
Carnesis is out the back if they can get this one.
They can't.
Bad kick.
Knocked away from Pollock. Well done by Tuvey. Banfield, who hasn't been getting a lot of the footy of late, needs to have more of an impact as far as the Lions are concerned. Seedsman maybe just hanging on a little long.
Well, they still need quick transition. Now it's Merritt. All alone in the 50. That actually probably, ironically, that actually works in favour of Collingwood because quick transition goes to Merritt. But this, actually,
well, no,
I didn't think that's a big 50.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to sit up.
Well, what's happened? Didak gave it back to the wrong man, who was Drummond. Now that's ridiculous. He's been out of the game.
Well,
did he what?
Drummond called for it. So.
Yeah, but come on, you've got to know better than that.
That's good stuff from Drummond.
It is worth trying, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Absolutely. Might get his team a goal.
Well, they need one. Just need a nice settling one early here, Brisbane.
20 gone. 20 gone, top.
The game was gone in a flash last week against Essendon, so they'll be conscious of the need for that. Didn't score last week, Banfield, but that one's on its way and oh so close.
Got to take the chances here. Just those first couple of forays in by Brisbane. That intercept mark with Collingwood being poor this year, you can see everybody's going to Jonathan Brown. You've got to start hitting up other players.
Agree totally, and I think we'll find that Brisbane will get a couple of easy goals over the top because a lot of people are attracted to Brown.
Here's Sinclair.
But with that, there might be a couple of very quick rebounds with numbers around him.
Finding it nicely early, his third possession. Too much on it for Goldsack. Maguire works back with him, there's Keefe. Oh, Polkinghorne felt it from all sides. He was just over, lucky for him. No Jolly tonight. It's a big list of stars that are absent for the Magpies. Blair welcome back into their team. Up to Huffle to Cloak again. Had lines in front and behind, and they did enough. Oh, Beams to Seedsman, who found it behind his back. Thumped away from Buckley. All hands on deck for the Lions. Brown, though, couldn't grab it, and the captain, his opposing captain, could. Maxwell gets it deep. That's as far as it goes for the moment.
Look at the numbers here for Collingwood.
Patfield did really well there to knock it clear. Carnesis needs to also work in a situation where he was hopelessly outnumbered. And it's side bottom that thumps it forward again. Swan perhaps looking for the free as he felt some contact. Drummond comes in, Rich at the coalface. It's a scrap. And now it's a bounce.
Just saw Dane Swan in that marking contest. He's going forward about 5 to 7 minutes a quarter, and they know that one-on-one he can get his player who's tagging him in midfield.
Longer again beaten by Wood, but Redden had the read on it. Oh, bounced away off the chest of the skipper. Now Reid outnumbered and overwhelmed as the ball comes away. McGrath tried to find Carnesis, couldn't. Shaw, Merritt. Toothie with a quick one. They're released. Blair, misfire. A bad one as it turns out. And Drummond. Inside 56-2 in favour of Collingwood thus far. And that's not going to change. G. Polkinghorne lucky to get away with that. Sinclair, Wellingham just waited for the traffic to pass. It didn't completely, as you saw. Redden was applying some good pressure. Could have been a high tackle. Been very busy, Sinclair. The pressure from behind had an impact.
Certainly getting numbers to the contest, there's no doubt about that, the Magpies. And Brisbane, when they do gain possession, they really need to take a little bit of time before they just play on, because they're running into those numbers, running into trouble at the moment.
Hanley, that's pretty haphazard as well. And straight to that line of pies. Clark, a bit of a battle on his hands there. McGrath, just missed at Harvard. Rockcliffe, and the backup run is good. Although Golby, a fumble just when he didn't need it. And in that crucial moment could yet prove critical, because side bottom spread it for Keefe. He gives it plenty. Cloak's in front, but it goes to Swan instead.
Yeah, nice mark, and sure, yeah, you're spot on. You mentioned pre-game that this is something that Swan will do, push forward. So you really need someone to be able to play as a permanent defender as well, but have the capabilities to run with him through the midfield, because he can take an overhead mark.
Who's that on the mark now, Lynchy, if you can pick it up? I'm trying. Is that Redden who was in midfield with? No, it's Polkinghorne.
Maybe Polkinghorne, I would say.
Yeah, well, he might have gone back with him.
That looks pretty sharp off the boot from Dane Swan.
Double poster.
Yeah, not sharp enough.
What's that, a cannon?
Well, let's have a look. Look, this man is as strong. I think one or two strongest players in the Collingwood side, body on body, as in weights, and how he lifts weights. So he's a dangerous forward.
Hanley just tried to shape it slightly off the outside of the boot. Longer was there with Merritt as the targets. Wood battling on Gamely for the Pies. Rains the escort. It's out.
just seem to be holding up Hutto at the moment. You know, if they can do that and keep in the game for a long period of time, they're going to get their breaks through the line. But Collingwood are setting up beautifully behind the play from this stop play.
They just need to be able to pinch one somehow, don't they? The Lions.
Collingwood free kick. They'll play advantage here. Oh, no, they won't.
They don't know they're going to play advantage. Well, Sinclair didn't anyway.
I'm amazed they didn't play Ben Hudson in this game. Yeah, they rested him. If that's right, he might have an injury. They said rested.
Oh, it's 50. That's catastrophic to give those away. 50-metre penalty when you're 65 metres out. They just weren't going to score from that kick. Heard the explanation there.
I want to watch this if we can. This is my pet hate about this person. Let's have a look what's going on.
He wants to get the swan.
Now, he wants to get the swan. That, to me, Swanee shouldn't be allowed in that 5-metre period either, in that area.
That is the rule. I mean, the umpires are judging by the rules. That's correct.
He should have been able to run around in range to get the swan who's in that same area.
You're asking for a rule change, aren't you?
Well, you can't defend
it's the time to do it.
Here's Wood. It is. And it'll do. It's a goal. Collingwood have got 2 on the board.
I know the umpires will say that was a right decision, but do you understand where I'm coming from? Let's have a look. Now, you see where Swan... Oh, there's a free kick against... Gee, there wasn't a lot in that, what I thought. Maybe
against Longo to start with. Not a lot in it.
Well, that's
but here's the 50-metre penalty. Now, Rains is actually with Pendlebury.
Oh, sorry, Pendlebury. So he's got to go around with him. Now, he blocks over and hands over.
Yep.
Now, he's going to go to Swan. Well, maybe that was his own fault. They should have communicated a bit better.
So the margin already out to 14.
5 shots at goal to 1. So Brisbane have had their hands on the ball. That is one thing for sure, but just not working the ball efficiently forward.
Rich at least thrust them in some territory in the forward half. O'Brien sturdy there and uses Swan, and they're away again. Wood powering out to the wing. That'll please his coach, giving them something around the ground. Pendlebury and now Didac. Sinclair flew. Wellington was in front, and it's over and out.
One player who's got a really important role tonight is Cameron Wood. Now, you mentioned Jolly's not playing. He hasn't been able to cement that spot in the Collingwood side. Wood, here's his chance. He's up against a young player in Longer. There's a couple of young guys underneath at Collingwood that'll be itching for opportunity as well in Witts and Segler.
Beam's got it in there. Nice work from McKeever at the coalface. Rains just goes with it, hoping that Redden can get on the end of it. He can.
Oh, well done.
Finds Harwood, but that's about where it ends. Swan as they gang up again, the Pies. High towards Cloak. Back to Maguire. We know he'll do that. As it hits the ground, Blair first to get there. Tried to sum it up. Cloak on the wrong side. Tried to do the maths in his head. Couldn't quite get it right. And it's through for a behind.
He's getting the ball deep, and this is what they do need with Maguire to come back as third-up jumper. They probably see him more as a third-up jumper than the main defensive spoiler, but he certainly got it off his man and over the Cloak. He needs to do that on every occasion.
I think you'll see that a lot at both ends of the ground here tonight.
Well, Rich just gets himself out of danger, and that is a powerful kick to the middle of the ground. Keefe tries to thump it away, but O'Brien was ready to pounce, and Buckley, and they can crank it up again. And Swan looming is a real threat for them, short to Didac. And the Pies fans will like what they see so far from Alan Didac.
He started well, certainly moving around the ground pretty well, so encouraging signs.
And Dane Swan really, in the last couple of weeks, starting to get back to his best form as well. Buckley in a bit of a pickle there. Doesn't really get himself out of it either. Beams, he was very slick with the hands. Didac to the square. This time it's Hawksley who's on the job for the Lions. He takes the mark. Rains. O'Brien, what he likes to do too, reading the play on his own back there. Good reinforcements, but Banfield had a say in it. And Black, who gave it straight back to Harry O, who shrugs the shoulders and the hips. And away, Didac, not quite as clean as he would have liked. Seedsman gives Pendlebury the next opportunity to send it forward. And Patfull out leading and decides he wants to keep going with it as well. Maybe the Lions can bring it out cleanly this time. Maybe. Redden.
They've got to be careful here because they've got nowhere to really kick the ball.
And he'll be regretting that handball. That could be high. That should have been high contact. Umpires wary, I guess, of ducking and weaving.
See, that's where I don't think Merritt is a good option at centre half forward as a person who picks up where the fly and the ball's going. They need someone who can hit out hard, and you don't want Jonathan Brown to do that because he'll work out, work himself into exhaustion. And
Karnizis is one of those natural moving forwards. He's not a big man, but he will actually get to the right space.
Doesn't have to be a tall bloke.
Wellingham dug it out nicely, but there's a lot of traffic around here. Nice work from Clark to get it through. Side bottom, we know he can sniff out a goal from most places, and that is no exception.
Just the game is being played in the Collingwood forward half at the moment. There's a massive amount of numbers, and I think mainly Harry O'Brien is the loose man in defence. Now, that's nothing new, but he uses the ball so well, so he's setting up a barrier so the Lions can't get through. And we see in this forward half, there is a lot of numbers for the Pies. There's certainly Lions dropping back, but around the ball, there is more Collingwood players than the Lions, which is a critical point at this end of the ground.
14-2 inside 50, Collingwood's way. So if this continues, boys, this game could be played. They've got to watch this, the Brisbane Lions. I don't know if they've got. They should maybe throw one behind the ball for the next 5 minutes, and then you can work your way up the ground trying to get through these lines.
Well, they're finding it difficult at the moment to give their forwards any chance. As you said, their structures are disappearing, and this man is getting himself loose, and he can be devastating off half back. And so can Dane Swan. He's bursting and running now as the Pies are surging forward. Beams, Cloak, good spoil Patfull. It's all about the follow-up now. Black was committed as ever. So too Didak, sliding in, had to be a little careful. Applies the tackle. Black with a clean-up operation, but
here's the barrier again, set up very well, Swan and a number of others.
Didn't do any favours for his teammate. Wellingham got up and got Sinclair away, who runs in and kicks another one. That's 4.
Wow.
That's 4, and that's ugly, Shorey.
Oh, Benny Sinclair, gee, he has improved. Look, I reckon he's a really good player because he's got genuine leg speed, great contest here at ground level, and he's finished up. He's kicking a lot better than what he was. He's turning the ball over, trying to go too short. I think he's a penetrating player. When he gets the ball, he knows what's around him. He's a great goal assist or score assist player too. So they're on top. They've got to get some control here. Play behind the ball, I would go with.
Kicked a couple of goals last week, Ben Sinclair. Started very brightly so far tonight.
Another one of those players has just really stepped up this year and played every game so far. And just adding to that depth, that forward potency, and really classy player.
So Michael Voss really feeling the heat here.
Well, you could put someone behind the ball, but the Lions aren't getting their hands on the ball. They're getting belted out, out of this part of the ground and through the midfield.
And Collingwood are the masters when there's a spare man, aren't they, really?
No doubt.
So it's not a tactic you really want to employ, I don't think, against Collingwood.
Well, the other thing is you've got to stem the tide. Like they've done it without having someone loose behind play. You just send one back, I don't care how, and then try and work your way through. You can see Michael Voss, you don't want to be sitting in that position at the moment.
He's won just the once against Collingwood so far, which was, amazingly enough, in 2010, a premiership year. Shaw carving the ball back to the top of the square. There was plenty who were ready to fly, but none of them, Maguire, could get the timing right.
And this is where I think the Brisbane Lions need just to control the tempo of the game. Don't try to take Collingwood on at their own game, which is fast ball movement at the moment. Control the tempo, hit targets, try to make the Collingwood players accountable for their direct opponent.
It's not something they've been able to really do this year.
No, because they tend to turn the ball over too much.
They've either gone too hard, which happened against Carlton, too slow, which happened against Fremantle.
Yeah. The one thing that's happened tonight, though, this is the first time Collingwood look like they've got the forward pressive play. Yeah. It's been a free-running
it's a full-on press too, isn't it?
So, sometimes you learn after 5 to 6. Nathan was trying to hit the corridor, which he's still doing, but they're dominating so much about midfield. They can pressure up now. So I think it's still a good ploy in the modern game. It's just the sides who can use their foot skills to get through it.
And they're doing that so well. That's why I think we will see at stages the Lions get easy goals out the back because that big press is on. And if it does get through, Lions will score. But just at the moment, it doesn't look like getting through.
And Collingwood again through Buckley. There is a spare at either side. And it was Patfull who got himself loose there, with Cloak on the bench.
And looks like it will be Maxwell across half back now. So Maxwell and O'Brien are chopping and changing off Banfield, who's the half forward. So Banfield really has to get dangerous.
All right, side bottom. Again with the mining operation. Got it up for Buckley and Swan, who is everywhere at the moment.
Well, he was standing forward of the contest by himself.
You've got to change that matchup.
Oh, falls beautifully into the waiting arms of Tyson Goldsack.
That was amazing that Swan was forward of the contest from a stoppage, so it was had plenty of time to actually get to him, and he was standing all by himself.
Well,
so just dropping off around stoppages at the moment.
Exactly, like Redden, I think, is a ball winner, and if he's going to Swan, I'd rather go head-to-head with Simon Black and see who can work it up, either way.
Goldsack comes in. Oh, that's perfect connection. There's a lot to like about the Pies tonight. 5 goals for 34 to just 1 behind.
Well, here we'll see Swan gets by himself forward of this one. He just drifts through. It was Black that was drawn to the ball, and he just walks through to the front of that stoppage, but had plenty of time. And that was probably a bit of a floater just over the top. Bad read. And Dane Swan's on fire at the moment. He's got off to a flyer, 9 disposals.
So Goldsack joins the list of individual goal kickers for the Pies. Dane Swan, 7 kicks, 2 handballs, 3 contested possessions.
And what that Goldsack goal actually does as well is make Maguire more accountable, so he can't drift over the cloak all the time as he wants to do.
Kiva had a run in the ruck there. That's nice work from McGrath, opening up some space for Redden, and he drills Carnesis on the spinning, diving lead.
He's the one. He's a player who can get on the lead. That was a lateral lead then, but also can hit you on the target. Good clearance. They've kicked 4 goals out of 5 clearances from Collingwood, so they're dominating that area. Contested possession, 33-20. So got to get some control. They'll have their time, Brisbane Lions.
Kicked 17 goals in 10 matches last year. Hasn't been able to hit the scoreboard other than behind so far in his couple of appearances for the Lions. And that's about to change as he's put it through for a goal that they really needed.
That's some nice handy work out of the stoppage, as you said, Shorey, and just to hit a genuine lead, and it was a good working lead going laterally. This is the good clearance. Started with Redden was there, Ash McGrath, nice little tap over the top, and that's a great kick. He is one that we saw last year that can find space and can create goals. And on the end of some nice work like that.
That is a great kick.
That's a beautiful pass.
They had 2 players in front of that.
So Patrick Carnesis gives Brisbane its first major of the evening. Something that Michael Voss desperately needed. There's still 5 minutes 30 to work with here in this opening quarter, so they could get 1 or 2 back here with Black trying to orchestrate another move forward, which looks promising. Banfield runs straight into the Collingwood skipper, but he has good backup. Rockcliffe, brilliant stuff. McGrath, that's where it ends though, as they go to work the Pies defence. He stubbed his toe there a little bit, did Maxwell, but doesn't worry, just follows up and rubs it out towards the wing, probably hoping for the ball to find its way towards the boundary line. Didak gets worked off it. The Lions looked at each other and no one really wanted the ball. Drummond was left with it, and it goes over and out courtesy of Buckley.
Here's the big bump from Nick Maxwell on Banfield. Bounce back up though.
Plenty of numbers around the ball as we're becoming accustomed to in our game. Not much space, but it didn't worry the Pies at all. Side bottom, feeding beams, and on the bounce away from Didak.
You get a bump like that in preschool.
That was a good hit. Nice. Certainly made his presence known in the forward half of the Brisbane Lions.
I don't think Collingwood lose many games when you have a bloke like Nick Maxwell sitting behind playing loose man.
No,
and look at this. This is too easy from the clearances.
Goldsack, the unlikely target in the square, and that was pretty comfortable for Matt Maguire.
They're just not putting enough time into stoppages. I mean, they're letting him sit off the play. He's a great reader of the ball, we know that, and yet there's no one arm across him.
And Polkinghorn, the unlikely long target that time. So that's probably not a bad result, really.
There was Polkinghorn on Marty Clark on that occasion. The problem was Banfield got close to the contest, which allowed Harry O'Brien to spoil. So just got to think their way through that a bit better.
Wood from behind. Rich. Hurried one forward from Rockcliffe. Will it ever come down? Does now. Reed.
Oh,
Mark.
well done.
Ad-lib beautifully. Got it to Shaw. And that's where it comes to a hold. Hawksley. Aggressive handball. Maybe a little bit too aggressive. Hasn't come unstuck yet, though. Drummond finds Rich, who made the move at the right time. Unfortunately, lost his footing.
And it hurt the other way now.
The sprinklers on here this morning. The kick goes wide to half forward.
That's 50. That was late. Right in front of you, Pickers. What did you think?
Yeah, a fraction late.
Yeah,
But,
come on, Shorey.
well umpired.
It's Dane Swan again.
Oh, the old 1-2 from Swanee there, just to get the stats up.
The slow telegraph 1-2 as well.
It was a Tony Shaw special.
And there was a number 22 involved too. And here's a Shaw. He comes through. He's been kicking goals of late. And there's another one chalking up.
Good Shaw will do that.
I don't know whether that was like Uncle Tony, though. But some really nice work again. Swan's absolutely flying. He's had 12 disposals. Sidebottom's another one out of the middle of the ground. He's had 14. But to a dangerous spot, and Heath Shaw had pushed up the ground, and that's a fantastic snap. He was under pressure across his body. Really good finish, but the quality of the ball that Dane Swan's getting at the moment is just cutting the Brisbane Lions to ribbons.
Already has 5 goals this year, does Heath Shaw.
Well, I was really worried when Leon Davis left the club, because I thought Leon Davis behind the play, Heath Shaw would have gone in the midfield for certainty. And then I thought once he left, he'd be a halfback. He has to push up there to give him that speed outside, I reckon, Collingwood, to win a premiership.
They have got some real good rebound off half-back at the moment with Shaw, O'Brien, also Maxwell. They're all running hard off half-back.
Well, Shaw's now trying to get himself as the loose man in defence. It's a good gig if you can get it.
Good Shaw will do that.
So Hawksley takes them out wide. Hanley. Well-weighted kick for Polkinghorne. He probably did well to fumble the initial bit because it just meant that he didn't press on like he had planned.
Rich.
Oh, he had some short options. Decides to go it alone, and it's a mighty solo effort. It's a goal. A tonic for the Lions.
We're going to have a look at this.
Okay, can we please have a review? We believe it's a goal. We just want to check whether the ball has hit the post. You got anything else to add?
So, did I hear correct? He said he thinks it's a goal.
It's a goal. He thinks it's a goal. Yeah.
Just wait a second, mate.
So if not conclusive, it'll go back to the umpire's call, which is a goal.
Yep.
They wouldn't be able to see it. Yeah.
He's just saying he wouldn't be able to see it, the
I
umpire.
believe it's a goal, but we're just getting it checked.
Oh, that's off the top of the padding, isn't it?
I think it's in the post. I think, isn't it?
Nearly inconclusive there.
Scores and everything before you even
To
go.
my eye.
Well, they need to show another replay over that for them to be sure, don't they? Okay, that's all that's available.
Let's have a look here. I think they're both inconclusive,
Yeah, I
boys.
think
This
it's
might
got to
have
go
to stand.
inconclusive. It'll be a goal, you'd think. Heath Shaw's pretty confident.
We go with the umpire's call. All clear.
We know he's got a powerful leg, young Rich, but
That's not the best. I couldn't tell from there.
now Heath Shaw's still debating the subject with the umpire.
You can see the clear deflection.
I think that second replay showed that it did hit the post, didn't it?
Well, I don't think it was conclusive.
I don't think
to
it was
be honest.
conclusive, Hutto.
No,
You've got to be
maybe not
certain.
100%.
So you've got to, I don't mind that. I
Yeah.
know Heath Shaw was saying that, but he's got to go with the flow now. Don't worry about it. It was inconclusive, I think. Let's have a look.
Oh,
You couldn't tell from that. I reckon the right decision's been made.
Yeah, not for sure you couldn't.
you could have a stab in the dark. It looked like it may have hit the post, but yeah, not sure. I'm sure Rich is happy.
I'm sure he is.
I don't think Heath Shaw was either.
The coach is very relieved as Hawksley backs back onto the wing, finds some space and finds a teammate not quite. Here's Heath Shaw, busy at both ends. Blair angling the kick, maybe just got the angle wrong. A little bit of a shove there on McKeever.
They're playing in the local competition, so they've got to call up.
Oh, he's gone off the line. He went off the line and didn't know it. He just got called by the umpire.
Now he's over the mark.
Could be
You better
50 here.
careful. So Sinclair. This will have a bit of a sting for the Lions if Collingwood could score a goal there, which they can't yet, but
there's a free kick against one of the Collingwood players. I think you could put that under dissent, I would have thought. You put that one under the banner of.
Magic. Half back. Pollock takes it for McGrath. So it turns here for the Lions. Brown's got himself into the clear for the first time tonight. His first possession. There's Jay Brown and there's N Brown out there. Neither of them have had a possession yet. They're about a metre away from each other. There's Jonathan Brown. Is devoid of any perfect options, but he created one himself almost. Polkinghorne as they work their way around this.
And then go again.
Full defensive press.
Drummond's the next one.
So all the Collingwood players ahead of them here. Golby decides to go by hand to Hanley. Hanley knows one way, and that is forward.
Going to run into pressure here with handball.
Well, Redden decides to chance his arm. And probably just didn't quite let it hang enough to give his Brisbane players a 50-50 chance.
That was well done from Blair, I think it was. Just drop back into that hole.
The one thing about that, though, when you keep handballing like that, the pressure comes at you because you've got to play on. If you keep kicking the ball, you don't. You can then go over the top. So they brought it on themselves, the Brisbane Lions.
Yeah, they've got this good spread again. Now, Swan's just come onto the ground. He should get this one on the far side.
Meantime, Goldsack takes it out to Dane Swan. 40 seconds now remaining. Oh, there's a turnover that could really be to the advantage of the Lions. Hanley, a bit of a sloppy left foot kick. Brown, an untimely fumble. Harwood gets involved for Brisbane. Didn't have a lot around him to go to. Brown just tumbling on in. Harwood put the head down. Cool heads for the Pies, but it was a poor handball. And Rich improvised very well. Shaw's going to control this one. Didn't mark it. Prepared to run the gauntlet a little bit here. O'Brien always had Shaw in hand. And they're out now, but there's only 8 seconds to go. So you wouldn't think there's time unless they can really thunder it down. And Didak will have to kick a 100-metre goal, which he can't do, obviously. So that's the end of the opening quarter, and Collingwood producing a pretty good one. 6-4-40 to 2-1-13.
They got off to a flying start, the Pies. Some of their real big names got their hands on the ball. Side, bottom, and Swan have led the way.
We're going to hear from the Brisbane coach shortly, but we'll take a break and come back to the Gabba as this round 7 clash continues.
Accumulate the ball enough. I know it's a different role.
Oh, absolutely.
You've got to find a way in AFL football somewhere.
I think he would have only just had saved his spot this week in the side, so probably a good role for him.
Wood wins the tap. Black looking for a free. Nope, said the umpire. Wellingham. Longer does nicely. Feeds it out for Redden. Away from Banfield, though, O'Brien. McGrath was waiting for it if he could have gathered it, but it's all Collingwood. Pendlebury and O'Brien sorted out between them. Goes super short, but it's effective. Seedsman, yeah, got it away. And used Maxwell. Back again to Pendlebury as they build through half forward. Cloak pushing and just couldn't quite get there. Well done to Patfull, but Swan full of confidence now, charging on forward, putting this Brisbane defence under all sorts of pressure. Sinclair finds a way to sneak in for another one. That's 2.
Well, that's not the start that the Lions needed, that's for sure. And Sinclair again at the other end of the ground, very potent. Good contest under the ball from Patfull and Cloak. The problem from a Lions point of view is it got over the back. And then it was a real foot race between Swan and Rains. But then Sinclair, who's about the 4th or 5th player in, just did the job. Nice bit of work. Optimistic handball from Hanley just to go in the corridor over the head.
Oh, optimistic. That's putting it nicely. So it's back now to 33 points.
This might be the new unpolished Andrew Cracker. He's not as polished because he can't take a mark above his head, but Sinclair, he's got speed, he gets in the right spot, and hopefully he can keep finishing like that.
Well, the reality is Collingwood really, with all the injuries, they need to find one or two, don't they?
Yeah, no doubt.
And it seems like they have in Sinclair, and they've got this bloke. They have to find him. They just got to keep him out there.
Well, he's a star. I mean, if you give him a one-on-one contest, and that's why it was good effort in the last contest from Patfull's point of view to nullify the contest, but we know that he's the best contested marker in the game. The quick ball movement is going to really isolate any of the Brisbane Lions defenders. To note your discussion at quarter time, it looks like Rains has gone with Swan, so dropped off Pendlebury.
Okay, now Pendlebury, we'll see what happens.
Well, he's already been influential, hasn't he? And so is Cloak, who puts through his second.
Well, the other issue too, the clearances, they are getting smashed at the centre bounce clearances all around the ground. I said before the game, why Ben Hudson, if he was only rested, he needed to play this week up against Cameron Wood, because Billy Longer is only a young kid finding his way.
Good young kid, but trying to dominate Wood, certainly.
Exactly, because Wood, he's still finding his way probably to see if he's going to be in the best 22 at Collingwood. And when Jolly comes back, he's going to have to fight for that.
He's going to be a threat all night. 2 goals. Interesting, McGrath is playing as in the midfield as well for Brisbane. We haven't seen him play in the centre square too many times over the years.
No, hasn't spent a lot of time in there, but just probably to give him a bit of zip and hopefully get his hands on the ball and get it moving forward. But he's got some leg speed to really separate himself from the opponents.
Loose men in defence, Collingwood, they're mopping up too easily.
Brown.
Oh, they've done this well, actually, Collingwood. They've got numbers, or it wasn't a great kick.
Well, that was Buckley, and that's probably the area where he still would like to improve. Finds plenty of it to Simon Buckley, the former Demon.
There's young Billy Longer, and he's really impressed around the club over the pre-season. They thought he was probably going to be a long-term prospect, come in and play in the next year or two, but certainly he's elevated his status in the club
I think
quickly.
he's okay, but he's still, as I said, he's still
absolutely.
Gee, for a first-year player, he's a big lump of a lad, isn't he? Not just with height, as Maguire is able to work it out to Hanley, who tries to generate some run and linkage with McKeever. And now Hanley's kick to the wing is good. Brown's had to come up a long way to get it, but he's got it. McGrath's pushed himself forward. He's softened the kick a little bit, maybe hoping for a Banfield effort, but Reid had other ideas. Look at him keep on charging Reid. In the end, he could have got it there. Rockcliffe able to fend it away. Banfield ducking and weaving. There's lines everywhere, so they have got through this time. It looks like Merritt's playing in the goal square at the moment.
Yeah, and McGrath pushed forward out of, as you said, he started in the centre bounce, and as a midfielder just snuck forward, lost his opponent in traffic, and has popped up in the forward 50, and he kicks goals.
You can see there 138 of them as he's closing in on 200 games. Ash McGrath.
Just watched him in the warm-up. He was just sliding them low, right post. He's swinging them back beautifully.
Right. He's got no chance there, Pickers.
Fixing it.
Oh, Pickers.
Sure you were watching him.
No, that's what he was doing. Didn't actually do it then, of course. Just poked at it.
Yeah, very different in the warm-up, isn't it? And here's Ash McGrath. We'll see him just dropped off. He was sitting behind Harry O'Brien there and just dropped off into that forward 50. So lost all contact with the Collingwood midfielders.
I'm not sure why he didn't play on. He had plenty of space and a loose player in the goal square.
Reid takes the mark, and the big defensive zone adjusts to try and suit. They press across to the other side. And let's see now what's in place. There's plenty of pies in the air. Wood couldn't quite. Good work from Drummond to force it through to Black. Was on his wrong side. Just set it up, just hung a little long in the air for Rockcliffe. And this Collingwood defence will sort it out. Shaw with a customary bounce or two. Brings O'Brien into the play. A little bit of a sloppy handball, but there's no damage done. And they're away. Blair, the diminutive one, takes it onto the wing. Gets Seedsman. Now Wellingham. Bouncing ball in towards the 50.
Great stuff, Didak.
Goldsack got it, and Didak took it away. Seedsman. There's McKeever. Wellingham anticipated the play superbly, and we know that Didak can do that all night long. His kick's not so great though off the right, and Maguire takes the mark.
This is where they're going to take the game on. As soon as that came in from that side, Brisbane had to look the other side for the switch, but they've come back into congestion a bit. Still got a loose man in the wing here.
Well, they managed to work it through, so that gives Rockcliffe a bit of an opportunity. He was seconds away from being crunched there, Pollock. Turns instantly to the voice of Jonathan Brown, who takes the mark. Now, at his best, he's within range here. He'll be looking to find a target. Doesn't try and go for goal. Presses to the top of the square. Merritt was there. Perhaps collected one over the shoulder, maybe fractionally. It was rushed through by Pendlebury.
Jonathan Brown still having to push right up the ground to get his possessions.
The leading goal kicker for the Lions.
Daniel Merritt.
Is Merritt.
One possession.
Here's Tuvey. Collects his thoughts and finds his man. Sinclair darting away from just behind the wing. Into the centre they go. Seedsman, it's one-on-one ahead. There's three sets.
Again, nearly Sinclair if he wanted it.
3 sets of one-on-ones. The ball was placed in the air more than anything. Goldsack just couldn't quite get there at the crucial stage. Hawksley and Drummond collaborate. Quick look over the shoulder from Pat Ford. He saw that side bottom was there, so happy to take it over and out.
Got to admire Sinclair's work rate. I mean, he just got involved in 3 contests. He didn't get a possession in the end in the forward 50, but he certainly worked very hard to get close to it.
Wood fends it down. Longer, just a little bit of a stumble. Goldsack, Wood, standing start. You can see the launch, top of the square again. Out comes Cloak, hunting. Maguire beats him to it with the first and the second.
Oh,
And
the
keeps
Goose
it in.
kept it in.
I think he wandered out.
Yeah.
Gee, he ducked his head there.
And it was a good time to get that little bit of respite for the Brisbane Lions. Daniel Rich.
Not a lot of movement ahead, and that's where, you know, just the one real forward in Jonathan Brown just leaves them vulnerable.
Advantage taken gratefully by Maxwell. Into the middle beams, angling for Shaw. He's got this side of the ground to himself. Enjoys a bit of liberty with 1 and now 2 bounces, and he kicks it long and strong. It won't quite be a goal. Double fist to Maguire. Sinclair again. This time there's a goalkeeper on the line, Hawksley. Handball again, they'll keep it close to the chalk. Redden and Hanley, and it's finally over and out.
Just this contest out here in the wing, I'm not convinced that Daniel merits any more than a pinch hit forward.
Oh, no doubt. Oh, he should be playing a fullback, and you build your defence around him, because they've tried it all season. Maybe Leuenberger going down because he's a key forward, but still, I'm with you.
Rockcliffe with a release for Hawksley, and then Brown. Maybe they... Oh, that's a terrible... Oh, it wasn't a great game. Maybe they don't think, you know, that Collingwood have... They only have one really dangerous forward. I think they're better value to have Merritt.
He's been playing as a forward for the whole year.
Yeah, he did go back last week at times.
Yeah, he went back last week, but I think Picker's point is valid. He's potentially an All-Australian fullback as a spoiling defender. He's not a natural footballer. He's a good athlete, good spoiling defender. And Pickers is right. When he's confident and playing well, then he can pinch hit forward, but it's only pinch hit.
Blair, speculative, but it was dangerous as far as Brisbane were concerned. Keeps the pressure on. That was very close to being a throw, but a little bit of latitude shown. As Golby kicks, and it's gone over the head straight for Clark, who can work Reid back into the play. He just goes and gives it plenty to the top of the square. Keefe with a nice leap. Not quite the mark. Rich hacking it forward to Black, and he goes down the corridor. Happy to trust
McGrath's off.
Yeah, he's off and running. They've got to get it through to him, though. O'Brien is pursuing him hotly. Harwood just going to be held up here momentarily. He needs one more link in the chain, and now the bases are
look
covered.
at the numbers.
Good running from Heath Shaw to get back defensive side of his opponent too, just to block things up. So the Lions have to just chip this around until they can get close to that 50-metre arc.
Patfull and Black in the end. Banfield is working really hard tonight.
He's just got to convert his opportunities. And this is now they've got the ball inside 50, so that can be a shot at goal.
This is their 7th entry for the quarter, Brisbane. They only had 7 for the whole first quarter, so they've been much better in this quarter. And Collingwood, I reckon, have fallen into the trap of just banging it long all the time when they go inside 50.
Well, that was Reid in the middle of the ground. You're right. They haven't penetrated 50 by a lot, though, Pickers. They've been really deep, shallow 50-metre entries. See if he can convert from here.
So Hawksley, there's a dodgy mo and a dodgy kick.
That is a very average Mustako going on there, isn't it? But if that's the way he wants to roll, fair enough.
Bet, is it? Is it a bet?
You'd hope so.
Just that thing with Merritt. You know, we know that the best top 4 defences in the competition have won the last 15 out of 16 premierships. You build a defence around a All-Australian key defender. That's what I think. So anyway, we'll just see. They're doing it for a reason, but it's not working. Look, the other thing is too, they've been smashed in the midfield most of the year, and it's meant it's pretty starved their forwards too.
It's a lack of depth in their midfield that's a real worry, isn't it?
Well, that is the worry moving forward. I mean, still their best midfielder is Simon Black. And, I mean, whether he's got a year or 2 left, I mean, certainly past his best, and he should be able to drop down the pecking order a little bit.
Buckley takes it out to the wing. Again, Wood providing an option for them going forward. Didak's deep in the goal square. Cloak not out there at the moment. As Keefe is up. He takes it.
Gee, I like to look at this kid.
Kiva taking on someone about 1.5 foot shorter than him. Jared Blair.
I think with Reid, being out a bit earlier in the year, it was a making of him as a good defender too.
Yeah.
He could play anywhere. He could go in the ruck. He said he played in the ruck early days when he came down from Queensland, but he played against players about 15 kilos heavier.
Spent a couple of years on the rookie list, and played all games so far this year. 204 centimetres. He's a monstrous man.
Well, they've actually got too many of these guys, haven't they? I mean, it's a great luxury to have for the Pies to try and have to squeeze them in. He'll need to be able to do that, and he certainly can. It's a big goal for the Pies. Takes him out to 42 points now, Lynchy.
And as we've discussed, some real potency in the team when they've got depth through the midfield, but also the likes of Lockie Keefe coming in and playing key post defence and being able to go forward. And he really stretches any defence at that sort of height. And if you can take an overhead mark, and once again, he's probably similar to Daniel Merritt. When he's confident playing down back, he can go forward and pinch hit, and that's a very nice mark and finish.
This is probably as impressive as we've seen Collingwood all season, really.
Well, the other thing then, if Merritt's down there, Maguire goes to a different one. You've got young Golby playing on him. So you get what I mean? You just spread the load too much and too thin. Say something, Lynchy.
I haven't got much saying it, don't worry about that.
All right, Harwood tries to break the tackle and keep it moving in the general direction of goal, but unfortunately for Brisbane, it's not getting too close too often. Reid with the driving ball out to the wing. A one-on-one between Sinclair and Golby. They scrap in hard. Pendlebury comes to add his weight and earns himself a free. Climbs to his feet for possession number 11.
And disposal efficiency in favour of Collingwood as well. Using the ball well, 78% to 70.
Almost 20 more contested possessions as well. Wood in the end had to spoil. Here's Sinclair again. He was slipping. He was slipping, and the umpire said ducking. Wellingham found it. He got it onto his boot, but that's about where it ends for them. Pollock confidently strides away, and then maybe realises that he's in a bit of trouble. Fortunately, he's in more trouble. Had nowhere to go. Tuvey sized up the situation and just misses.
Again, Shorey, that's the pressure that builds when handball is the only option for a disposal. You can't stop and can't take a breath. And great pressure from the Pies, and great running to get over and put the extra numbers around the ball.
Pretty adventurous stuff too from Hanley on the way out. That could be high. It is high. Second tackle was too high on that occasion. As Polkinghorne takes it out for Golby. His left boot will get the lines to half forward.
50.
And that's about the only way they can get it in there at the moment.
Oh, come on.
Well, this will get him to about 30 metres, 35 metres out. And for his own confidence, these are the ones Banfield needs to convert.
Kick 4 goals, 2 for the season coming into tonight.
Let's have a look what happens here. He was going to go in board, but you cannot make any contact here. It was a bit soft too, wasn't it? You're not allowed to touch him though once they mark the ball.
Did Vossi say, what's that for?
Yeah, I know. I think he agrees with
take
Vossi.
it. Yeah, absolutely, you take those.
I would have said good decision up there.
Hasn't been a great season for him so far. Here's Banfield. Oh, they just can't afford to miss shots like that.
And when you are a crumbing forward and one of the, a small goal kicker, that's what you've got to make the most of those opportunities, because you don't get a lot of ball playing forward pocket. I mean, he's pushing up the field a little bit more, but certainly a lot of ball doesn't get directed through that position.
His tackling and his pressure, I guess, is the hallmark of his game, isn't it?
Yeah, but you only can survive on that for so
doubt.
long. If you're not converting your opportunities, you're in strife.
Cloak back on the ground, takes the mark. Reassesses, waits for some leads to come, and Goldsack was on the job, gets there hard in the air, didn't take it, Golby. And now Hanley is certainly finding the footy okay. He's up to 14 disposals. This is Hawksley. Delicate little operation there. Successfully achieved with McKeever, and now Hanley again with a reinforcement running. Patfull had Blair, Swan. Tried something on there, didn't quite work. Rockcliffe, now they've got some numbers here, the Lions. But the one man waging the war for the Pies did it successfully. Tuvey, it's out of bounds.
Just have a look at this, boys. I want us to watch this. Scotty Pendlebury kicks the ball in long. Now, look at Wellington there. He could have been in the pack and gone for the mark. Everybody said, oh, that's courageous. See how he turned around just to be the front and centre? It came back to his feet and it went forward. That is a very smart midfielder who's going to play a very good big role at forward for Collingwood. People watching that, you don't have to always go back with a fly of the ball. If you cannot mark the ball and have an impact on the contest, become a front and centre player. Gee, it was a great play.
So the margin 42, 9 goals to 2 in favour of Collingwood here at the Gabba. Black looking for finding a high tackle. It's his 22nd time he's played against the Pies, which is the most ever of any Lion. Oh boy, that's not his finest moment. Swan out to the wing. Cloak has to wait, not for too long because they're surging forward.
They're pushing forward now. Patfull was the defensive sweeper for the Lions.
Goes for Blair or Sinclair.
Oh.
Golby with a very timely fist. Got a knuckle to it when it mattered. Now McGrath. Karnisis has been unsighted for much of the match.
You've got to go along the merit now. One-on-one.
Very wide. He gets there. Still a long way from home, really.
That wasn't a great kick by Karnisis.
Nah, it was a terrible kick, but just got to hit up a target inside. Rich is loitering around. He looked, just couldn't get there in the end. And now he's going to go to the top of the goal square.
Well, Banfield's there, right where Jonathan Brown wanted to be one-on-one.
Yeah.
Hopefully he can get here now. Oh, there it is. Gee, I thought he was going to bring Harry O'Brien into that contest then.
Made it tough for him, didn't it?
Didn't he what? Geez, a great player this time.
He's finding the game pretty difficult this year now.
Oh, what's happening?
Oh, let's hope that's not...
Well, was it Harry O'Brien coming back with the fly? The ball was falling across.
No, he twisted, did he? I think.
I thought he fell across him when he's coming back here.
Look.
O'Brien's coming back and hit him.
Oh, no.
You'd hope not.
Just come back for a knee.
He's got to his feet.
Often that doesn't mean a lot, unfortunately, with those. So,
Yeah, his reaction.
yeah, it wasn't a great reaction. He sort of put the arm up.
I wanted Tony Banfield to get out of that area. Jeez, he allowed him in there where he shouldn't have been there at any time. That's not his fault, but, you know, gee, let's hope it's all right.
So here's Brown to convert. That bouncing run up, and he too has missed. That's 3 shocking misses for Brisbane, isn't it, really?
It is just energy sapping.
Yeah.
You get those rare opportunities. Now, this is the story of the moment, obviously, and this is, you don't want to see this. And
well, he's off
Nathan
balance
Brown,
there, and it goes. Oh, maybe
just
overstretched it.
let's hope it's. I'm not
You know
sure
better
there.
than me, Lynchy.
No,
I never had a
don't.
problem there, but
No, I don't know there. But Harry O'Brien's come across, and he's had to fall down on the knee. So hopefully it's okay. Just pinched his knee. Be a anxious assessment over the next few minutes for Nathan Brown.
He missed it all last season, of course. And had trouble in Arizona just to aggravate make the recovery more difficult and lengthy.
oh, that's horrible kick.
And that gives Collingwood every chance now as Beams breaks, has side bottom to run and gun. Didak a little further ahead. Goldsack's even closer to goal. Side bottom waiting, sets it up. Goldsack did well to fend it down to Sinclair, who's getting to all the right places.
You're spot on there, Hutto. He's getting to the right places. He looks like a really lively player. He played forward half player, but geez, he's got some zip and knows where to go. Similar to what you were highlighting in the last replay, getting to those dangerous spots at the front of the contest.
Wellingham, high ball, Goldsack, Drummond. And it's over and out.
Yeah, just stoppage deep in this pocket here, and Collingwood would fancy their chances in this situation. Rains has been really tight on Swan.
Here's Rich.
Oh, slung in.
Yeah, and that's fair enough, free kick, but often the tackler doesn't know whether the player's disposed of the ball or not, so it's a hard one.
8th disposal for Rich. 7 kicks and 1 handball. And this is inch by inch stuff with Redden and now Rains. Brisbane try to get out.
Just to reinforce Rains' job on Swan. Swan's only had the 2 disposals in this quarter.
Oh, he's done a good job. He'd probably be best for Brisbane in you look at the entirety of the game.
Absolutely.
Patfull's kick was errant, and it means Collingwood is sneaking in again. Didak, has he got the bounce back in the legs and the step? Almost.
Well, we just built the mark, Dane Swan, on
Bit of a wry smile.
He's
there.
dangerous.
and the player that Rains went off, Pendlebury, he now has 11 disposals. So he's got back in the game in his second term after a quiet first up.
Drummond threads it through. This is Harwood. And now they have got one advancing further. Black using his right foot a bit tonight. Finds McGrath.
He can get the journey from just outside 50 as well. He doesn't look confident at the moment, but I reckon he's still within his range here. Just this is probably the more difficult pocket on the ground to kick goals.
Well, Pickers was watching him in the warm-ups. What was he doing from here, Pickers?
He was skimming them and just getting them to go right post and swing back.
Rightio.
All right, here we go.
More relaxed now.
Chance for redemption for Liam Pickering.
This is harder.
No, not even.
Oh, he fades it back. They had the journey.
Just trying to avoid the bunkers there on the right. Tried to fade it back in. It's a behind. Brisbane, those 2 or 3 crucial shots for goal. That obviously was a difficult one, but it leaves him with a job to do. Now Liam, more serious matters. Any update on Nathan Brown?
No, because he's gone straight down the room, so can't get a real look at where we're at the moment. Yagmore's still got the sub vest on, so they haven't made any changes as yet.
And the Pies make a mistake from the kick out.
Keep calling it, Shorey.
No, you're going well. Thought you might have not got caught up with it.
Buckley and Sinclair around the corner. And another opportunity. Patfull, can he hit a target? It was a chipping ball for Brown. Yes. Here's the answer to that.
They kicked 6 points, Hutto, in the quarter.
Yep.
So they've had it in there a fair bit.
They have.
They've been much better, really, in the quarter.
Yeah, inside 50s are similar. I think it's 12 to Brisbane in this quarter and 13 to Collingwood. Disposals are even, just both around the 72 mark for the quarter. So they've matched them. They've just got to make sure they convert those chances.
Jonathan Brown kicked 6 goals, 2 coming in tonight. And there he is, putting it through at last.
Yeah, nice reward, as we've touched on. Certainly the Brisbane Lions in this quarter have got their hands on the ball. They're using it better. They're getting inside 50. It hasn't been anything clean, but certainly a couple of easy misses have really hurt them on the scoreboard, and some good defensive work to make sure they put Collingwood under pressure. An errant kick, which we don't see too often from them, and then lining up inside. There was Black, there was Brown, and he slotted it through.
So let's go to Liam. There is an update now, Pickers.
Well, Yagmore has taken the vest off, so he's into the game, and Nathan Brown will have the red vest, but he'll be in the rooms with the vest on.
Yep.
So we'll try and get an update at half-time. But it's not looking good. Obviously, they've made that call pretty early.
Yeah, they'll certainly be taking no chances. Here's Wellingham, breakneck speed, was able to turn around and get it back to the middle. Patfull, maybe the Lions have got a little window here with 2 minutes to go in the half. Blair trying to change that. Back through the legs of Beams. Harwood, all hands on deck. Lions go forward through Rich again. Carnesis. Spoil come over the top. Is called on by the umpire. O'Brien. Spinning effort from Polkinghorne. This is Reid, though, and it's on the counter. It's the Pies suddenly looking deadly and dangerous. Sinclair, they can funnel through him in the middle of the ground. Gets the call from Blair. They've got the man. They've got 2 over the top. Beams can go to side bottom with 1 more. Just lingered a little too long, but side bottom. Smart around goals. Out to Sinclair again. Gets through to Yagmore. Just on the ground. And misses away to the left. And that's one that...
Substitute alert. Collingwood, player out 16, player in 38.
I love that.
16.
It's a bit like Big Brother, isn't it?
Substitute lad.
Just reinforced young Peter Yagmore, young Brisbane boy.
Do it again, Sherry.
Substitute lad.
I like it.
Nice, Sherry.
I might have a job. The AFL might give me a job.
Polkinghorne with the ball. All right,
If they can generate one more shot here, Hutto.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going at half-time with a bit of confidence under their belt.
And no doubt the Collingwood players will be really concerned about their teammate too, and Nathan Brown, knowing what he's gone through.
Well, no, what?
O'Brien spreads it wide. Didak made a meal of that.
He did. It can get slippery in the second half usually up here. There's a heavy dew, and the grass has been left fairly long at the moment, so the ball, ironically, on a beautiful winter's night, will actually be wet.
8 disposals for Didak. He hasn't been, great by any means, but he's moved well, hasn't he, I think?
Yeah, looks fresh, and he's getting involved in the game.
So the last 30 seconds of the first half. Collingwood 9-7-61. Ben Sinclair, Travis Cloak with 2 goals each. Still side bottom, 20 disposals. Hanley with 16 for the Lions, who are 3-7-25. And there's only 24 seconds now.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Alan Didak play as the sub a lot of the year.
Yep.
You know, just every maybe third week and get him through the season into a final series, because you'd be a brilliant sub.
He can certainly come on with an impact.
Oh, I don't know whether he'd love to hear that.
No,
but I mean, yeah, it's not something you can do every
now,
week.
You know. I think he's 28 now, 29. Hutto, you might be able to tell. So the body's been around. You know, he's had a lot of football.
Here's a quick kick forward from Wood into the pocket. And it's over the line and out of bounds.
So it hasn't been too bad a quarter for the Brisbane Lions. The lead is 36 to the Pies, but they certainly stemmed the flow and can go in with an ounce of confidence that they can get back into this game.
He's 29, Shorey, as Pendlebury handballs back to Blair. And that ends the first half up here at the Gabba. And the margin is 6 even goals, Alistair.
Yeah, good quarter from the Lions. They just managed to get back into the contest. They were blown away early by a very impressive midfield led by Swan, and certainly Sidebottom had plenty of the ball in the first quarter.
All right, we're back shortly. We'll try and give you an update too on the welfare of Nathan Brown. That has been the story, and it's an all too familiar one at the moment in AFL footy, a possible serious injury. But more on that coming up. Other than that, it's all smiles for Collingwood. They lead by 6 goals at the Gabba.
Pat Fuller's gone up to... Well, he's gone to centre half back on young Sinclair at the moment, and Maguire's back on Cloak. So, anyway,
we're into the third quarter, and Pendlebury finds Rich for company.
Well, Hutto, they need to win it here, though, too. Like, we can talk about forwards, you can talk about defenders all you like. If your midfield don't get enough supply, and that's where they've been belted in the first half, it'll happen again.
Spot on.
Collingwood with an advantage of 5 clearances for the match. Here's Didak working it all the way back to Sidebottom, and Didak again running those arcs and then kicking it short to Beams. Fairly labour-intensive build-up here. Yeah, that's probably a better description. And then hurried kick from Didak off the wrong one.
Well, he'll be filthy on that, Nathan Buckley. That was Lair-rising, that just piece of play there.
Hawksley gives straight away to Rains, so maybe they want to try and move it a little bit quicker. And this looks like it's Zorko come on straight away. He's a 23-year-old, won 4 best and fairest at Broadbeach. He's gotten the play a couple of times.
Well done.
And he misses the target. Collected well by Reid, comes out with purpose to Marty Clark. Handball to the voice, but it got there all right in the end. Beams feeding Maxwell. Captain Cloak engaging pretty much. It's been a good contest down there. No free kick. And McGrath, now there will be.
Great chase.
As McGrath took on too much.
Oh, they've played advantage. There they go.
Well, they're not sure what the advantage was. Merritt takes it. If he could get it deep, he had Carnesis screaming for it. Instead, he goes to Longer. It's all very sloppy at the moment. There's Zorko, Rich, Redden, and Brown. Short to Rains, backing back. Carnesis makes his move. And the ball long in front of Rockcliffe. And Rockcliffe can go back and have the shot.
Yeah, good quick transition there, and nice pass into Rockcliffe. Good lead.
Who kicked 3 goals in that round 1 match, didn't he, against Melbourne?
Yeah, it can be a dangerous forward. He just racks up big possessions and can kick goals.
Terrible call of advantage against Collingwood.
Oh, yeah.
So Rockcliffe, big task there with the angles, and in the end it's going to sit there for somebody to try and grab it, and somebody does, and it's Carnesis.
Well, nice build-up to get for that shot at goal. It was wide, but yeah, Collingwood would be very disappointed, Shorey. It's a kick to 1 metre out. Now, a big key defender, you would think, just would spoil this over the line. So a bit of sloppy work, and Carnesis was in the right place at the right time, just towed it through for a nice little goal, and just what the Lions needed after half-time. Get a quick one on the board.
So Patrick Carnesis with his first 2 goals of the season.
Well, Dane Zorko's come onto the ground, boys. He's nearly their best midfielder from the first half.
Yeah.
In about 5 minutes of football, he looks industrious. He's been involved.
Leg speed,
exactly. Outside leg speed.
Wood with a very clever-looking tap. Doesn't get where it was aimed. Here he is, Zorko.
Well, that wasn't as good, but that's all right.
Couldn't quite rid himself of the tackler.
He certainly knows where the footy is, and that's what, as Hutto said, he's won a few best and fairest in the local competition, a prolific ball winner at AFL Queensland level. So he's picked up the tempo very quickly in the first few minutes of his career.
Isn't it good to see those type of players getting an opportunity?
Yeah, that's right. Missed the draft 4 or 5 years ago.
We've seen lots of examples of that in recent times, haven't we?
Magna's probably the best one this season.
This year. Patfull, he wades his way through. So a bit more purpose about the Lions at the moment. It's going with them. Harwood, big work for Brown to do. He saw where the ball was going, which was behind his opponent, but Shaw was also had the same anticipation. Kicks out wide for Goldsack, and it's over and out.
I'll tell you what, they kicked 2 quick goals here, Brisbane. They get the crowd involved.
Oh, yeah.
They're only 30 points behind, so you know you're not out of this game, and they've just started to win the ball early in this third quarter around the contest.
Merritt fends it down, scooped out the back. Side bottom with a quick up and under. Brisbane have the extra body there. Wellingham couldn't quite take the mark, but does get it safely to Swan, who was prepared to wait, and then he released the handball. Wood, nice dexterous stuff there by the big man. It's a high up and under.
Oh.
And McKeever could have marked that, but he didn't.
Well, that's just a sign that some of the Lions players aren't overly confident at the moment. We saw an example of that in the first half as well, when Matt Maguire went there with a double fister. You think if you can get 2 fists on it, you can get 2 hands.
Black, Rich, combining nicely, falls for Brown. Reid now has the job on him, and
well done.
Left him behind. In deep, Cloak in front. Maguire with him as his opponent at the moment. Cloak was first back onto it, tumbling through. Maguire, Keith trying to make life difficult. Goldsack and the boundary line.
So possessions are starting to even up now for this term. Collingwood just had a bit of the ball in the last couple of minutes. But inside 50s are equal as well. But the Brisbane Lions just look like they've got that extra bit of zip that they didn't have in the first half.
Well, they really couldn't afford that amount of liberty. Buckley doesn't make them hurt out of bounds on the full.
It's in one part of his game. Simon Buckley, he's finishing at times can be pretty ordinary. Coming off halfback, he's been turning the ball over a bit. You've got to get that out of your game if you want to be in the best 22 at this club.
Maguire gives it plenty, hoping Brown can get there. Hawksley was also up. O'Brien very earnest in his approach to the footy that time. Pollock there for Brisbane, and it's out one more time. So 30 points, it's a huge gulf, we know that, but if Brisbane can get another goal or 2, it will make things a little interesting. O'Brien, Yagmore, high one. Time for the defenders to get a little nervous, not knowing what's around them. Patfull stood his ground, but couldn't take the mark in the end. Goldsack getting industrious and getting them forward through Yagmore, playing in front.
Well done from Matt Maguire. He started behind Cloak, but used his strength to get to the front of the contest. So that is a real win.
It's been a good story for them, hasn't he, really, Maguire? Because he had so many injury troubles, played 15 and 14 games in the last couple of years, but got a real full pre-season in.
I think he was the last pick in the draft, wasn't he, when he got picked up by the Lions? So they rolled the dice a little bit, but he's hung in there.
He's probably been one of the few stories in that year when the Lions picked up a lot of players from other clubs.
Well, Staker was the best recruit, but obviously the injuries have got him.
Pollock takes it. Merritt's demanding it. He doesn't go short to. Could have gone with the hands to Brown. Instead, he does go for Merritt. It's a long lead, and he gets there and gives away the free.
Well, better watch it. Nick Maxwell might reverse the free kick here. Just the one thing, I like the way the Brisbane Lions are setting up. That was a one-on-one, and there was 4 players in the see, one-on-one each player here. Before that, oh yeah, it's just turned his body. They might have a look at that, but Nick Maxwell wasn't happy. But that suits the Brisbane Lions a lot better.
Just on the back of that, I mean, that's where Merritt hasn't got any awareness as a forward. He was calling for the ball, but it was a kick and a half away instead of leading up for the ball. He actually wanted the long bomb.
Right in front of you then, Pickers, wasn't he? I saw him run out that wing.
Howard to Brown. And he just had to handball in haste there. It was the best he could manage. Seedsman got it moving. This is good work from Beams, and now Clark. They start the run and gun again. Keith had plenty of options to go to. Rich, though, was onto it. Nice work. Harwood. Golby, that's smothered as well. So they're getting closer to being able to get in good positions, but it just breaks down at the crucial moments, and credit to Collingwood for that.
Yeah, and the big turning point, I really believe, we talked about the midfield dominance of Collingwood, particularly in that first term, but it has been Rains going on to Swan. He's just really locked him out of the game. He had 13 in the first quarter, has got a total of 16 now.
Well, that's when I think, when you're in a situation like this, 30 points up, you just say to Swanee, I want you to kick 3 goals. Take Rains down deep in the square, in the goal square, and see what he's going to do with the matchup.
Yeah.
And I think he might have just gone to full forward, Dane Swan, right now.
They've just done it, Shorey.
There you go. Well, that's what you've got to do. You've got to take a play, get him out of his comfort zone around the play.
Well done, Heath Shaw. Mission accomplished. It's out of bounds. There
they are.
the men we're talking about.
So 40 minutes of football. Rains has restricted Swan to 3 disposals. So it's a really good comeback.
After he had, what was it, 13 in the first quarter.
Yeah, and the 13 wasn't on Rains. Rains was on Pendlebury and held him to just a few. Just check how many. He had 4.
We didn't know he was on Swan.
No, I don't think anyone was. But so he's had a good day so far, Rains. Just needs a few mates. A few mates have joined him, but it needs a few more.
Wood. Zorko doing well, but even better, the Pies, Clark initially and then Pendlebury. And they're at half forward again. Drummond just dropping off Cloak pretty well. But Cloak stayed afloat. Got back to his feet. Swan getting dangerous. Yagmore, time and space on his side. Was able to just pick out a couple of teammates. And it's Alan Didak getting the aim pretty right. It's drifting into the post. Collingwood fans are on their feet, wanting to really pump it up for Alan Didak.
Go back 4 or 5 years, and that would have just split the middle. He looked like he struggled to make the distance then.
Just around the body. Just not quite as clean as
not at the
last
moment.
season yet, but he'll get back to the pace of the game, I'm sure.
You mentioned the crowd. I reckon there's more Collingwood supporters than there are Brisbane here.
There's not much doubt about that, actually, Pickers. There's plenty pre-game walking around the boundary line.
It was a good walk around the boundary line.
Yeah, for you it was.
Pendlebury.
That's you're in your element in that situation, Shorey.
Oh, it was beautiful.
I was getting plenty of feedback from the Collingwood faithful.
Amazing how many of those stuff to get signed he's got in his back pocket for a price.
I thought reminding them of the grand finals, Lindsay, though, was a little bit...
Yeah, that was inflammatory, wasn't it? Yeah.
All right, so Redden, they've held up pretty well here, Brisbane. This last few minutes as Collingwood were surging and getting it into the forward line regularly. Rich keeps it low along the line longer.
Well, they've done this really well, and that's with tempo, controlling the pace of the game at the moment.
Well, they've held their forward structure. They are one man down there. Collingwood putting the extra back there, but they've got it deep into their 50.
It was a patient build-up, just around to someone out in space and just use the ball well.
I know it's a pun, but he's got better as the game's got longer, Big Billy. No, he has. He's got into the game now. He looks like he knows how to link up to the wings a little bit more.
Every game he's played at the level, he's looked very impressive. And he started, I think, game 1 was at Patterson Stadium up against Aaron Sandilands.
Got a bit of the Sean Red look about him, hasn't he?
Actually, yeah.
He's a bit of the Sean Wren.
If he becomes half the player Sean Red was, he'd be really handy.
Patfull versus Seedsman.
Too high.
Yes, it was. Ash McGrath under all of that. Brown wrestling deep in the square. McGrath got himself into a bind and, as you can see, didn't get out. But still the lines are circling here. Hurried kick Maxwell. Should be chopped off. And McKeever, even he decided to go for the mark that time. And it's Maguire that launches a rocket into the pocket. Karnisis decided to stay back. Wasn't bad tactics. It very nearly got to him. Maxwell hurried but effective. And Wellingham holding things up for them for the moment.
What Brisbane have been able to do since quarter time is really stop the run off half back.
The chain.
Shaw feeding Cloak.
Made him earn that one, Matt Maguire. But yeah, this is the link-up football. They haven't been anywhere near as fast or clean.
It's Swan on short here.
Yeah, and he dabs it to him perfectly.
Great move by Nathan Buckley. This is identifying that Andrew Rains doesn't like to play deep. He has played as a defender,
played
more
centre
of half back.
but I tell you what, Swan
back there for a while.
Swan is one of the quickest players off the mark.
So Dane Swan, you can see his amount of footy he's had, 18 touches. That looks pretty sweet off the boot. A timely one for the Pies.
Yeah, nice move, Shorey and Nathan Buckley just to isolate Dane Swan. And a better build-up, but they've really struggled to find space. And we see there wasn't too much room around the ball carrier, but Swan had the room in the forward 50 and just a really nice little pass in front of Swan and just led beautifully into the space. And we know he can kick the ball a long way. A nice little conversion from 50 metres. And that has got him back into the game. Few telling possessions in this quarter.
So the Pies back to a 37-point advantage. Spinning through beams. There's Pendlebury and side bottom. Bit of a fumble from Clark. No damage done. The spread's on for Yagmore.
That was his 27th disposal. Still side bottom. 27.
Keith finds Blair.
That's what happens when you tag Pendlebury and Swan.
Yeah, exactly.
The other 3 or 4 just get out the side.
Well, he was the other one that got off to a flyer in the first term with Swan. He had 15 in the first term.
Blair. Skyscraper. They all go up. Patfull got the meaningful fist to it. Redden digs the handball out for Golby. Now we're on the wing and Karnezis can't get there, so Clark was able to just drift nicely across the pack to take the mark. Marty Clark for the Pies. Not much on the horizon for him long, so goes short. And this is Scott Pendlebury up for possession number 19.
They're keen to get to the other side of the ground where Nick Maxwell's set up on the far wing. But he's actually set
too
right
hard for
now.
Buckley to get there in one blow.
So you want to be good.
And Beams, he was adaptable enough to feed the handball back, and O'Brien takes it out to that wing now. Hawksley anticipated well, but just didn't collect the footy when it mattered. Shaw can't break the chains, and the shackles, it's out of bounds. It was close to being holding the ball. Rockcliffe dispenses with him.
Oh, that is a stupid free kick. Now you just take him off the ground. You say, you know, that's not tough. That is really immature. And he's played enough footy to know that those sort of things are just too soft.
And they might pay the price here.
Oh,
Great break, storming through the middle. Pendlebury had a little glance over the shoulder,
Swan.
and then looked ahead to Dane Swan. Now it comes back to Tom Rockcliffe.
It does come straight back to the giveaway free kick. It was a stoppage situation. Michael Voss will be relaying a message to the runner, or possibly straight to his young player there. Here's the free kick. Don't get sucked in with that sort of stuff. If anything, allow Heath Shaw to give away the free kick, but it's going to result in another goal.
And this to extend the margin to 43 points. Dane Swan, not a problem at all.
Well, they've kicked up a gear, and Brisbane have worked pretty hard, but a free kick and the overlap. That's where the overlap, just every player was setting up for a stoppage, and the Collingwood players spread from the stoppage much quicker, allowed Pendlebury to have just metres in the clear in front of him, and just had too much time to give a really nice little pass to Swan. And that's 2 goals now, and he's just starting to get back into gear. It's 20 disposals.
So 2 goals, 1 for Dane Swan, and 20 disposals. His night's work so far.
What do you do to a player when, you know, you mightn't have to take him up because he knows he's done something stupid there, Alistair, but do you have to remind him that he's done something pretty stupid?
You would hope not. You'd hope he knows the mistake he's already made, and he's got to make up for it now. So keep him on the ground and work through it.
Yep.
Seedsman, that is a good delivery into the forward line. Swan just busting a move on Rains.
Well, after 2 goals, maybe you've got to know that Rains is a midfielder now negating. Put him back to Pendlebury and get someone who's a normal defender. They haven't changed it, McGrath or someone like that.
What I can't believe, Tony, is you're not still coaching. You saw this move early in the 3rd quarter.
Thank you, Liam, but no thank you.
So Dane Swan comes in for his 3rd.
Oh, no.
And no.
Just a little lazy one, just floated off the boot a bit.
Just leaned back on it a bit.
Yeah. He wouldn't have put the cue in the rack just yet, but he'd be fairly content the way he's burst back into this game in the 3rd term.
Drummond, boy, might have snuck outside the square there. This is Polkinghorne. And Didak with the anticipation working pretty nicely. Into the pocket, Swan again. This time he had Drummond for company, so Sure whether the move's been made. It doesn't look like it has yet.
No, I wouldn't think Drummond would be the man to go into Swan. Just certainly hasn't got the power, as Shorey said pre-game. Very powerful man.
No, it has been made.
Now it's Patfull. Now Patfull can certainly run with him and has the strength and the reach for the marking contest.
Well, he's back on Pendlebury.
But this is the danger.
Swan can still cause havoc, and he's probably more likely to at the stoppages, isn't he, with Patfull?
Well, that's what he's going to do. He's going to go up and get involved now.
Yeah.
He's not going to play deep forward now.
He'll
get up and
great coaching by Nathan
get involved.
Buckley.
So Wellingham with the mark and the difficult shot, which is there for all to see.
He's one of the very few natural midfielders in the AFL that is comfortable forward, Dane Swan.
This bloke's not bad either, Pickers. I reckon Sharon Wellingham likes it.
Collingwood fans behind just delighted with how their team's going tonight.
As I said earlier in the call, that's probably the hardest pocket to kick goals from that deep pocket. They just don't seem to want to really fade in from left to right.
Wellingham probably somebody who would be hoping that he can really take that opportunity that's there, I guess, with Luke Ball's injury and a few other players out like Daisy Thomas.
Well, there's plenty of spots up for grabs here. I mean, it's very competitive at Collingwood. Deep list and guys coming back from injury. So these youngsters that have got a chance, they want to cement the spot so they can stay in for the season.
In Wellingham's case, I suppose, become a real genuine midfielder, isn't it? And not have to spend time elsewhere or as much time. O'Brien, that's a terrific kick. He's pushed up the ground, as we said, Swan.
Golby's gone to him now.
Spectacular from Keith, but not effective as it turned out. Drummond, Sinclair, not as prominent as he was early in the game, but was a big part of why Collingwood got where they got in this match.
It's a dangerous kick across half-back. Free kick against Karnesis.
Advantage taken, Yagmore. Driving, running by Pendlebury. A fumble, but that didn't faze him, as he kept it in front of himself where he knew where it was. Maxwell
great hands.
Was aware with what happened. Now Buckley, here's a long kick, not always straight, but this one's looking pretty good. Oh, just clipped the post.
See, that was good build-up from Collingwood, and Nick Maxwell, great awareness there to assess the situation, see where his teammate was, and then give the ball off. Great work.
Jonathan Brown.
Just trying to counter-punch down the middle here, but well held up again by Collingwood.
Just pressed pause for the moment, and he finds Black. Deep is Karnesis. One-on-one read standing in front, so they'd much rather go short. Merritt takes the mark.
Well, take it on, have a shot. You haven't had a lot of it today, so you might as well just try and slot one to give a little bit of confidence to this group going into three-quarter time. Not that reliable normally, Lynch, is he?
No, and again, when defenders aren't confident, there'd be a reasonable amount of anxiety building up here. So you just got to kick through it. Don't try to overkick it.
Started left, but it's not bad. That is a pretty good kick. It works its way back, and it is a goal.
That's good for Daniel Merritt's confidence and the team's confidence that he got an opportunity there, and it was fairly wide out on a bit of an angle, but he went back and converted that opportunity. So it just makes Harry O'Brien again be really accountable. Now O'Brien did the right thing and pushed up, but you've got to convert those half chances from out wide.
I don't know whether he did the right thing then. I think he should have just done with Merritt and let the other chase from behind.
So you would have just stuck with your man, Shorey?
Well, on that occasion, he had a player coming from inside the corridor. We might, see if we can see a little bit later, but he then, all he had to do was stay. The pressure comes to the kick. He's kicking from 55 metres out instead of 40, 45.
I reckon that's Collingwood's defence. They push up in your face. Just keep rolling up.
Shaw had a bit of a swing and a miss. Black, the window open for him. Brown, one more handball. No, Karnesis took it on. Should have dished it off for the Joe the Goose. Over the top for Daniel Merritt.
Good pressure from Maxwell again, pushed up, got a hand on it for a smother before it hit the post anyway. But
it was good play, no doubt.
Yep.
So Tuvey kicks it into the paddock at half forward, hoping that
Yagmore's quick.
Yagmore could run onto it. There's Redden, and it's over and out.
Young Peter Yagmore, as you said, got a very good turn of pace.
What was the story before the game with Yagmore? I think just he was brought up because of his family, just to see his family, wasn't he, Lynchy?
Pretty much as an emergency, just to have a weekend back home, I think.
Red alert for the Brisbane defence there. And Christor's ill, is that what we understand? That was the word going around.
Yeah, so yeah, he's got an opportunity to play his second game after playing round 1 at the MCG. And spent the last few weeks back in the reserves, but yeah, second opportunity.
Polkinghorne decides to go, and that looks wise because they've got some deep options. Carnesis, flew beautifully, didn't take the mark. Black, wasn't a great strike off the boot. It's still alive. Brown will track it all the way, and he was never going to miss Jonathan Brown.
Just watch what he does here.
Yep.
This man thinks through these situations really well. So Hushaw has to come back. He's 5, whatever it is. I don't know whether he'll run around here. He might, I reckon 1 or 2 steps, Lynchy, inside the corridor around the body, or what do you think?
Yeah, I reckon he's still a drop punt man.
Yeah.
He'll swing out those last couple of steps, but it'll still be a drop punt, I would have thought.
Enough light there to see through the guys.
Yeah, he'll just swing out late and drag it around the body.
Anybody can think their way through these situations. This man's normally brilliant at it.
So Jonathan Brown, just 1 goal, 1 for the evening. 7 marks in all. Just eases out. Looks pretty smooth.
That's good.
And they've got consecutive goals, the Lions.
And that's what they need. Go back-to-back with Lions with goals after conceding 2 goals earlier in the quarter from Collingwood. But again, get the ball in quick to a dangerous position. Good contest from Carnesis. He missed the ball and Black was in a good position. He didn't quite nail the snap around the body, but again, it puts pressure on the defence, and Jonathan Brown was in the area and quick enough to get to the drop of the ball to the good chest mark.
Well, I mean, a few times we've called that Hutto over the years. Black to Brown.
Black to Brown, yeah, absolutely. And you saw Brownie, once he took the mark, there must have been a call inboard to pass it off, and he just shook him off and said, nah, I'll take this one. So managed to bring in the deficit by only 2 points, but they've certainly stemmed the flow over the last half of football. In the second and third quarters, been much more competitive.
So 34 points, and I'd love 1 more. Redden, O'Brien in best position here, doesn't get the job completed. But they find a way. Tuvey.
See, they mop up beautifully, that defence.
Yeah, they do.
See the 3 quick handballs there. They knew what each other was doing. It was like they were in their back pocket.
Seedsman to half forward. Well played by Maguire. Against Travis Cloak.
Just hadn't had a lot of space tonight, Travis Cloak. He's kicked the 2 goals and a couple of strong marks in the first half, but hasn't certainly had that dominating game that we expect from one of the best key forwards in the business.
This is Golby. O'Brien decides not to come over the top, left it for Reid to fight his own battle, and he got help from Buckley, who put it straight over the boundary line there. That's okay, so the ump.
Yeah, I reckon he had a teammate close enough to just better hang his hat on the fact that he was actually trying to get to Seedsman.
You can't get penalised for a bad skill error.
Oh, you can.
Clark. Bit of a wrestle for it. The Lions just sense a bit of an opportunity late in the quarter. Sinclair, though, he sensed an opportunity to set them away and run off half-back. McGrath, though, trying to thwart that plan. Now, what's he done? Has he got on top of the ball? No, the umpire says that's all right. It's a ball up. Here's a look at what's ahead in the space that's created if they do happen to win the footy.
I think it's, although Collingwood have got a loose man now, I think for most of this quarter, they haven't had a loose man behind. That's why they've been pretty competitive, Brisbane.
And Rich charging forward with intent. Pollock doesn't get there, but Black does. And this time you think he'd go back and kick the goal. Doesn't misfire too many. And this has been good resilience by Brisbane.
It has. They work through the middle of the ground, not only when they have the ball in hand, but to really stop the run of Collingwood has picked up again in this quarter. But Black, again, front and square, crumbing forward. He's played that role very well at times over his career. We saw when Carnesis dropped the last mark that resulted in a Brown goal, Black was there, and almost the identical situation. Hit the front, spilt mark, snaps it up.
So Brisbane, with 3 consecutive goals, have got it to within 28 points late in the third quarter, and you can sense a real change in the atmosphere here at the Gabba. Something that looked a long way off just 5 minutes ago. Brisbane are coming. Side bottom though into the 50. Pies would love to answer swiftly. Didak kept it on the ground, gets it back. Welcome back, Alan Didak. He's back and he loves it. The tongue was out and the goal is on the board.
Yeah, he's got plenty of fans around the stadium too. There was a couple of very close to us pre-game that wanted to meet him, but he misfired on the first 2 occasions with 2 behinds, but really nice. He's dangerous when given a little bit of space. Didn't have a lot in this situation, but once again, forwards getting to the front of the big forwards on that time. On that occasion was Keith, got the ball back up, good snap.
I reckon he would have been a great soccer player, Alan Didak. He's done that a million times, kept the ball in front of him when if he didn't have to bend over. He's not great below his knees. Maybe at his height he was not bad, but now it's just being a bit older, but just so intelligent.
So can Brisbane respond? You'd feel they really need to before 3/4 time if they're going to be any chance in the last quarter. It pinballs around a little bit, and there's less than a minute to go. Redden, tough work for Rains, but he found a way. Polkinghorn needed to mark that. Maybe had it spent before it arrived, but they're going to get a free. Now it's coming back to Merritt, who decides to play on. He squeezes the kick out. High one, Brown's in there wrestling, and Wood.
And that's what you expect from that long kick to that position. Good work from Wood to come back with the fly of the ball and impact that contest with a big spoil over the line. Michael Voss down the boundary line now. He's been coaching.
Nathan Buckley in the background. Look at that. The 2 Brownlow medalists.
2 superstars.
Combatants in grand finals. Well, we won't talk about them.
But Vossi back down the boundary line where he's coached all night from up in the coach's box, which is unusual for Michael Voss. Usually stays down at ground level.
So Wellingham, and there's 20 seconds to see off for the Pies, or maybe they've got grander ambitions. It'll all depend on where this one goes, and it goes over the line and out of bounds. Somewhere down near Liam Pickering.
I had my first possession of the year, except I couldn't be bothered getting off my seat.
Would have been a loose ball get. Right. Pickers uncontested, I would have thought.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh, sorry, I know.
Well, you said it. You couldn't be bothered getting off your seat. Now, here's McGrath. Probing ball, but it's... Oh, I was going to say it was easy fodder, but it wasn't. There's a little window for Brown. Siren beats them. And they'll have to settle on a 33-point margin. So a lot of hard work didn't amount to much for the Brisbane Lions. And Collingwood lead by 33 points. Nathan Buckley just adjusting a few things. He'll be looking to finish with authority in this last quarter, which is coming up shortly.
Here, it's the heroes of the Gabba, and the likes of Don Bradman, Alan Border and the like. And look at this one, Alistair Lynch.
Gee. Oh, look at those biceps.
Digitally enhanced. No, it's been around that one for a couple of years, I think.
You did a bit of pumping before you had that photo taken, didn't you?
It was a match day photo.
All right, the margin 33 then. If they've got a glimpse of an opportunity, Brisbane, they need to rack one up or 2 up early. Pendlebury, though, with other thoughts, beautiful delivery to the forward line. As it turned out, it wasn't on the chest of Cloak, but it was low and enough to make the defenders get very, very concerned. They battled gamely, the Brisbane defence, but Collingwood have had the answers when it's mattered, as Swan and Pendlebury might be able to combine to do. Gee, no one closing in on Pendlebury. You give him a bit of space and he'll take a mile.
Well done.
And that's Zorko. Ondabu coming on as the sub. Hawksley away to the wing. Maxwell seemed to have Merritt covered. Goes to ground though, so had a few issues. Merritt also dives on it. Now, did he do that deliberately or not? I think he did, yeah. Umpire was in perfect position to sum that up. Dane Beams, 20 disposals again tonight. Here's a sky ball. Cloak in the wrestle with Maguire. Hard man to move. Rich. Yep, Merritt's ball, advantage paid and taken. The line skipping away again. Brown up to meet it. They can run. Young Pollock got a bit of dash about him, and he can kick a long ball, and he can kick a straight ball. Wow, that's interesting to start the quarter.
Nice start again from the Lions. We've been singing the praises of the Lions working their way back into the game, surely, but Nathan Buckley will be a little bit concerned. They've dropped off since quarter time. They just haven't appeared to work as hard. No,
the intensity hasn't been there around the contest, and look, give credit to them. Well done to Merritt. Just gave him a contest across the wing then. I love the way that Pollock goes about it. I like him. I think he's going to be a very good midfielder who's going to be able to go forward and kick goals like this very often.
So Pollock, he was an early draft pick. He is a terrific mover. You just need to get him a few more games, and he needs to find the footy a bit more.
Bit of weight on him too.
Bit of weight.
He's got a bit of class there. Very excited about his coming years.
You've got to remember the number of players that are out for Collingwood. Of course, we know about Cracker, McCaffer, Ben Johnson, Dawes, Jolly, Daisy Thomas, Luke Ball, Alex Fasolo, and Nathan Brown. It's a long, long list.
Yeah, well, there's Nathan Brown. Hopefully he doesn't stay in that injury list for too long.
They've still got some real class in the midfield, obviously led by Pendlebury and Swan, but just the number of injury must give Brisbane some hope here. Maguire, Black, shut down quickly by Sidebottom. Pendlebury, they mean business at the moment. Tuvey guiding the ball, set it up too high. No favours at all there for Cloak. Some high contact.
Yeah, just dragged the arm across the top of Matt Maguire's right shoulder, drew the free kick.
They've used 32 players.
There's a spray from Travis Cloak to the umpire, and there's a 50-metre penalty. There's the grab across the shoulder.
No doubt about the free kick. And I tell you what, Nathan Buckley would be filthy.
Two big bulls going at it.
Verbalising the umpire.
Yeah. So Maguire into the pocket. Brown and Reed killing it.
Yeah, good spoil. To the left hand, just killing the contest, hitting the ball over the boundary line.
So the margin at 27. Brisbane with a sense of the possible here, perhaps. Rockcliffe not really doing much to get rid of that. The umpire couldn't really get a good sight of it.
Now, what they've got to do, Brisbane have got to set up behind the play here. They've got two players loose. That's good. Now, it's all been hemmed in the one quarter of the ground. They've got to try and keep sustain the ball inside this 50 to get an opportunity to score.
They've kicked 4 of the last 5 goals, the Lions. So suddenly late in this contest, they've found a way to goal.
You don't mind these contests now. The more times you get a contest and the more time you spend in 50, those opportunities will come.
And the defenders will tie some more. They congregated 40 out. Not a convincing handball. Clark takes it over. Is it that deliberate? I don't think so.
No, well, they've got the spare player, as you said. There's the Premier of Queensland, I think it is, up there.
Yep.
Campbell Newman, newly elected Premier, former Mayor.
Well, they sorted out in defence. Tuvey takes it out to a race between Patfull and Swan. Swan will get there first, tries to assess the situation, keeps it in, brings it to Beams, and turns what was a defensive moment into a pretty attacking one now. O'Brien just wrong-footed for the moment, and they just keep
messing around with the ball,
finding some insurance out the back. Maxwell speared it, but gave a look to Rich. Didn't take it, but didn't have to cause some damage. Rains in a rush. The Lions' big ball to be won here in the context of this game, and it's won by the Magpies. Maxwell, that's not perfect. An opportunity still for the Brisbane Lions. Tracking it down all along the way is Shaw. Kicks to the call from Wellingham, who needs to dart and dance a little. And good pushing, good body work from Drummond. Does he want to take it out? No, he gives to Brown, who just, again, handball to the voice of Rains, and they sorted out the lines. And they can move here. That's not perfect by any means, but it's mission accomplished. Golby, that was
terrible. Yeah. Merritt was on long.
Yeah, it just had to be the longer option to a one-on-one.
I'll tell you what, the Pies have got that cute football going again, Hutto.
Yeah, into the middle. Possessing it a lot. O'Brien bounding, full stride. Wellingham, Brown will do his best, but he can't stop that.
Well, that was good transition. That was a quick ball movement. They didn't over-possess the ball, and I mean, you really need to give some credit to the Brisbane Lions to stop that run and put pressure on. But yeah, they've just been over-possessing the ball in the last half of football, Collingwood, but that was really good ball movement off half-back from Harry O'Brien. 21
disposals for Harry. He's only had the 6 kicks, so he's done a lot of those handballs, but he's hit the target every time, so he'll be happy with that. So a couple of deep breaths there from Wellingham. He knows it's a big kick. just to keep them at bay, and he struck it nicely. Collingwood back out beyond 5 goals. And possibly to safety, but there is still time for the Brisbane Lions.
Here's the role that Harry O'Brien performs really well. Nick Maxwell's a similar role. Depends who gets the loose man job, and he just ran to link up. Really good work and used the ball very well. Identified the spare player and then hit him with a nice right foot pass, and Michael Voss very, very frustrated.
Thought he's still commentating, Michael Voss.
Yes, he was. Don't know whether most of that could go to air.
No, I don't think
but
so.
There was plenty of passion in that.
We've got him mic'd up, and here it is. No.
He'd be actually pretty disappointed with Joel Patfull then, who allowed O'Brien just to run straight past him.
Pendlebury, he goes for Rains. He heard the call, so he adapts and goes to centre half forward. Merritt in a wrestle. That's great stuff from Shaw. He's the big bull like Merritt.
Tell you what, one thing about Heath Shaw, boys, he's got a really strong core.
Yep.
Low to the ground. A bit like Peter Dacos' legs, he's got Heath Shaw.
And now Goldsack senses an opportunity to run. He got terrific protection from Tuvey, but didn't make the most of it.
No, he was rushed. And yeah, butchered the kick, just out in the full.
Drummond usually knows how to kick, but he's got himself into a bit of a bind there. Redden dabbed the pass, but just put a fraction too much on it. Pendlebury was that high, just for a moment.
Just have a look at that. I'd love to see when he went into that, whether he was standing up and just slid down a little bit.
It's fair to say we've seen a bit of that over the last few weeks.
You've got to tackle low.
Yeah.
Joining the party, you reckon?
Oh, absolutely. Well,
He's down here. Marty Clark, I think it is.
Time back on.
He's down.
Matt Maguire would not be happy with that. Travis Cloak gets the reward down the field.
The thing about the head-high tackle is that in our day we're taught to tackle around the waist. Then they said, oh, they're getting their hands up so they can handball.
Absolutely.
I'd rather let them handball and still have the pressure around the ball and give a free kick 10 metres out for a head-high tackle. It doesn't make sense.
So Cloak, you can see what's ahead of him. It's working its way back. Not enough. It's not through yet, though. Still an opportunity for the Lions to clear. Pendlebury. And Hawksley gives it with some instructions. Rockcliffe follows. Redden tried to get it back for Zorko, but the boundary line was too close.
Let's have a look at Scotty Pendlebury here. Now, he's up. Nah, that's just a bad tackle, isn't it? Thought he might have dropped at the knees a little bit.
He did late in it, but it started high.
High, yep.
Kick back to the middle, O'Brien. There for all to see. Switches. So probably that goal has just taken the sting out as far as Brisbane are concerned, and Collingwood happy to possess it here, aren't they, really?
Yeah, they are. Beams in the middle, if he just spots him up.
Buckley flashes past, but the kick is longer. Blair outsized. Harwood, Golby squeezing and hoping the ball comes back. Oh, very generous, very generous, the boundary umpire.
He was right
to
there.
Carnesis. Rains, no one to give it to. Absolutely nobody in the vicinity. There's Zorko getting it back to Carnesis. He goes for the boundary. That was as deliberate as it comes.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and he's been picked.
There's no such thing as deliberate if that wasn't. But he was outnumbered. Good pressure again from Harry O'Brien and the other Magpie defenders.
Well, it was better to get it out and give up the ball, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Rather than turn it over straight away.
Yeah, let them run away.
Didak's on the centre of the ground here. The switch, slow switch, but it's worked.
Yeah, the transition hasn't been anywhere near as potent as it was in that first quarter. They certainly ran harder. They seem to be just struggling at the moment.
Beams. Wealth of numbers through the middle, so he decides to go back to Marty Clark.
Get away here.
Brian there on the wing.
Harry, you're screaming for it out
Marty,
here at the
look
top
up.
of your screen. There he is. And Harry might give it back here, and then he'll protect.
Well done.
As Buckley strides. And kicks for Cloak.
That's what you said again. Just missed target, Buckley.
Yeah, it's a problem.
It's angling back to the top of the square. Maguire looking very casual. He's either he or someone else has collected Drummond, who bounces up all right. So Maguire can kick it to the core from Rich, who's keeping on tonight. 17 possessions, but They've been pretty solid, had plenty of kicks, 13 kicks and 3 handballs.
He's got to get up to 30, Hutto. Or,
He did last week, he had 30 last week.
But he's got to do it to be an elite player. Goose Maguire, just the courage. You never see him shirk the issue. Sometimes it can hurt his own teammates, let alone which he did there.
And he did, of course.
Great courage. But yeah, Daniel Richards got to get the ball and accumulate a lot more to be an elite midfielder.
Yeah.
We know what he does when he gets it. That is
dangerous on beams. He's lucky to bounce back up there. It could have been a lot more.
Oh, no, he dropped the ball. Let's have a look.
Head down, low.
No, I don't think that's reportable.
No, it's probably not, but no, I don't think it is.
How low can you go?
But it's lucky he didn't actually cop a serious injury.
No, you're right.
Well, he couldn't slide.
No, well, that's right.
Good point.
He held his feet.
And then Raines just got a little sloppy. I mean,
see, we look at that incident. They'll look at that, and he might get suspended for that because they are trying to get that out of the game.
I wouldn't want to suspend that this week. Really, as Pickers said, didn't slide.
Well, that's not the issue. The issue is he hit him in the head in a bump.
I know.
So,
but he stayed on his feet, didn't go low.
Well, he tried to get the ball.
I'm with you, Pickers.
He's got his hands on the foot.
I know Pickers, but he's hit him in the head, and they don't like. I don't think he should be suspended, but they'll look at him.
Oh, they'll look at it. But no, he'll be right.
Should have slid in.
Drummond for Rich. And escapes and gets it up to the wing, almost for Banfield. And again, this Collingwood half-back line, so proficient.
Gee, that was well done from Heath Shaw, just to knock the ball to the club's advantage.
Swan, McGrath was just working on the edges there of what would constitute a 50. Swan spies side bottom, gets himself into a dangerous spot.
He's been great. His kicking efficiency, 93% out of 33 disposals. So he's just had the ball on a string. 12 contested possessions, 21 uncontested. He's just found now, with the help that they know that Swan and Pendlebury will get a pretty hard tag. He's the one getting out. So's Beams. It's good signs for Collingwood.
He's on the runway now, and the footy is on its way for a goal.
He's had a very good game, 34 disposals, 2 goals, and he's just been a real workhorse out on the wing through the midfield, and he works very hard and just finds positions where he can be used, and he did again.
So we've seen, it seems like in the competition we've seen Geelong come back a little bit. That's from form at the moment. Other teams who have looked good, like Sydney, have dropped a couple. Where do you think Collingwood stands in the greater scheme of things from what we've seen now? At round 7, they'll be 5-2, had a lot of injuries.
I reckon they're positioning themselves really well. They're not playing at their peak at the moment. Still got a fair way to go, I would have thought. But just as they can reintroduce a few of their stars back into this team, it's going to be a lot of competition for spots in this
7
team.
of the top 22 out, and I think by round 10 I thought they'd be better because they had about 4 or 5 players who are playing now, didn't have great pre-seasons.
Pendlebury. That's away to the right. Well, Thomas is back next week.
Yeah, I think they're really well positioned. They got themselves at the end of this game. They'll be 5-2, up in the 8.
They've won this without Dawes. Now, Dawes hasn't been in great form. Dawesy might have to be pressured to keep his spot in the side, which I don't mind. I don't mind if Keith. I like the way Keith goes about it. He's not as big body as Dawes, but that's what you want in a club. A lot of pressure for position.
Again, Rich having to work overtime. Redden and Maguire provided the assistance. Oh, Shaw, the acrobatic leap.
Well, you haven't seen a Shaw do that before.
Oh, what?
That was a brilliant mark.
With respect to Heath and Reese.
I got that high today in the plane. I don't know where he gets his speed and his leap.
Goes all the way back to Reid. Now Yagmore. He'll really have enjoyed himself. I think he was possessionless, wasn't he, in that first play?
Didn't have a great introduction. Here's the Shaw mark of the century. Well, that is a fantastic record.
So it's the Shaw family mark of the century.
Absolutely. There's been no Shaw that high.
We take credit for everything that happens out there, Hutto.
When's that event being held, Shorey?
Well, it's been held over about 4 decades. It has. It's called the Christmas dinner bragging rights.
The test mark of the century.
Yes.
As they work their way across the pie. Still 9 minutes to go, and they'd love to build. And, you know, if Collingwood can kick a few more goals here, they might still walk away with a 10-goal victory. And obviously, Michael Voss and the Brisbane Lions will be hoping that doesn't happen.
Beams has worked his way into this game pretty well as well. He's up to 28 disposals after the big game last week.
Marty Clark just kicked that, boys. He tried to break the tackle, and the old Gaelic football came in the vogue.
Didak can still sneak around a player or two. Gets it deep. Cloak just not quite clunking them at the moment, is he?
No, not quite clean over the last couple of weeks. But he's had a good match-up with Maguire and Patfull early.
We talk about the players. Just have a look at this replay for you, Shorey, first.
How's this? He tried to break the tackle. How good is that?
Great game awareness. A different game, but
well,
he
yeah,
used
exactly.
it well.
He used what he had, what he played as a youngster. Good pick-up pickers.
Yeah, just wanted to mention about the fact that we know Collingwood have got some injuries and the likes of Thomas and these blokes not far away, but what has happened in the last few weeks is they've found a couple of players who are playing big part roles in the likes of Beams and Sidebottom who have really stepped up in the last few weeks.
Yeah, agreed, pickers.
All right, another Big Shaw run with a bounce and a long kick. And it just drifts a little.
Well, that won't come up for Christmas dinner.
Yeah, spot on, pickers. Just the more you can add to the depth of the elite A-grade midfielders, the better position you're going to be in to win the flag this year. It seems like a really competitive top 6 or 7 teams.
Interesting your point about Chris Dawes, Tony, as Heatshaw takes another mark and casually lays it off to Didak. Come back to that in a moment as he goes short. Gradual build up for the Pies with Sidebottom. And Cloak takes the grab in the pocket against Maguire.
Well, Matt Maguire gave no space.
Job, he
gave no space whatsoever. That was a really good effort, but it was a good kick to the right side of Cloak, and in the end he was too strong, but that was a good contest.
Dawes has kicked 3 goals, 7 so far this year. 27 goals last year. And he hasn't really found the form again that he showed.
No.
Or promised to show probably more than anything. It was a big part in 2010 as a younger, more inexperienced player. I guess we just expected that would develop, and he's an important component.
He hasn't got a lot of tricks. He leads straight at the ball, but he's a big body. So maybe you have too many big bodies there, you can be rebounded off quickly. So, look, like I said, if it's a competition for that spot, I think it's only augurs well for Collingwood in the club.
Here's Big Wood, comes in and slams it through for another one.
Well, there's a man really pushing for a regular senior berth in the Wood in the Woods lineup. Cameron Wood, the former Brisbane Lions player, but nice little snap around the body, just lurking off the back of the pack there. Might have been a massive falcon from the Billy Longer kick, but yeah, nice snap around the body. But he wants to make the most of every minute he gets out there in AFL senior football. Here's Jonathan Brown, just comes flying in here. Hits Blair, I think it is. And
well done to both of them.
They both did that. Just everything's okay.
He's tough, little Blairy.
Yeah.
Brownie's chock full of steel in his head. Probably didn't feel
actually didn't feel that. Yeah.
Well, Brownie would take him home in the baby seat in the car. Blairy. So.
Golby, Rockcliffe. We just found the going a little difficult there.
He's got another knee in the head there, Blair, I think, for a free kick. So he's been knocked about and standing up to it.
So what about Brisbane then, Lynch? As we assessing the fate of Collingwood and where they might go, well, where do Brisbane need to go to move forward?
They've just got to really try to develop these young kids, try to get a system in play. We want to be able to see a style of play week in, week out. We know they're reasonably competitive, and I think they've shown that again in the second and third quarters especially. But they're in the middle of a real rebuild at the moment, and
it's hard to rebuild at the moment, though, isn't it?
Oh, it is. It's the worst time to be a bottom team.
Yeah, I think that's showing in the competition at the moment at the bottom end. There's terrific delivery. They're running over the top of them now. Keith takes the mark.
Here's the youngster. He went to school here at Marist Brothers Ashgrove in Brisbane.
The other. Oh, here he handballs off.
Long bomb from Goldsack. That looks pretty strong and pretty straight as well. So they're racking them up now, the Pies.
Fair school, that one from Lockie Keith that he attended at Marist. Matty Hayden and John Eales, former Wallabies captain, obviously Australian opening batsman.
Hard to compete with that, isn't it?
Yeah, your name's not in the gold emboss at the top of the list. He's sort of well down, but he's making a real fist of AFL football after not playing much as a junior at all.
So Goldsack kicks his second for the night. They kicked the last 4. He was a soccer player, wasn't he?
Yeah, soccer and volleyball.
The one other issue that Collingwood got is how top-heavy they can be across the whole ground. Jolly, Wood. Can you play 2 ruckmen when you've got Keith, Reid? Well, Maxwell is a tall. You know, how many numbers are cloaked doors? You get pretty big.
Yeah, one of the great strengths is the fact that O'Brien and Maxwell can play small as well.
And probably, yeah.
But you probably don't go to ruckman when you've got Dawes or Keefe around.
Unless you come up against Nat Nui and Cox maybe in the final, you might think about. But yeah, I still reckon it might be too top-heavy. So that's another quandary they've got to have a look at.
Of course, they had Lee Brown last year.
He was a mobile ruckman,
yeah.
though. Cameron Wood's not a Lee Brown. I think he's improving, but slowly. And whether you go with John, he might even take. Well, will Darren Jolly find it hard to get back in if he's not fit? You know,
Well, if he's not fit, but I think fit, he's going to walk back into the side.
Sneak
really.
back in.
Yeah.
well, I only say that because he hasn't been in great form either.
Yeah.
And he's getting a lot of injuries now, and he could be breaking down. So a fit Cameron Wood who plays a good month, you'd be thinking, well, here we go. There's that worry about that position. I'm more Jolly, no doubt.
Yeah.
Swan for side bottom. And over now, 27,926 the crowd here tonight.
Well, that's a pretty good result for a crowd here in Brisbane. See GWS in round 8, the North Melbourne West Coast.
GWS in form too.
Well, one in a row they've got, and they're hit.
Oh, seriously, they will not want to take them lightly.
You wouldn't. No, you wouldn't
I know
take
they
GWS
won't,
lightly, that's for sure.
But GWS...
What repercussions would there be if the unknown happened, you know, the unthinkable happened and GWS...
Well, we'll start by... Have a look at the papers tomorrow and see how blue he goes. There's a bit of pressure on there, I would have thought. They had all the pressure going into that game, and Brisbane will have all the pressure. They'll want to come out and put on a really disciplined, clinical display against a really exciting team in the Giants. But yeah, you don't lose those games.
Well, of course, they went down to Gold Coast last year, didn't they, in the first of the Q clashes? All right, Jonathan Brown. We know distance won't really be an issue for him here. And unfortunately, accuracy is. And so he's missed a couple tonight. That was obviously difficult.
Yeah, wide out again.
Clark sliding in.
No, that's right.
Well, should have been a free kick. Shouldn't have, under the rules that they're now meant to be paying.
He did leave the field, Simon Black. He limped off the field after that.
Gee whiz.
Well, sorry, the tribunal doesn't pay them, though, Pickers, do they?
Pretty much. You're pretty sweet.
Match review puts them up. The tribunal says no.
There was nothing in it.
No, but it's a free kick under the terms that were emphasised by Adrian Anderson during the week.
I think that's changed though now because they've made that emphasising that rule. Even the adjudication might have changed now, Hutto. If it does, suspension comes in. It'd be interesting what the match review panel, the appeals board does do.
Well, the memo only came out Thursday night.
That's right.
At 3 o'clock, so the umpires probably haven't got their head around it yet either.
That's right. As soon as they've done it, though, I wouldn't be surprised to see players go when they were going to get off.
Well, there's a success story. Seeing Didak back in senior football, 23 disposal, 24 now. Have a look at a replay of that slide from Clark.
Well,
it's at Black.
Black nearly fell on top of his legs.
Well, that's probably more to the point. He hasn't slidden into Black, but
he did
slide. It is a new interpretation.
Sinclair, I can't wait till we play a match in the wet. How are they going to go trying to adjudicate? Seriously, I mean, it'll be impossible, won't it?
Go through the replay here a couple of weeks ago in that torrential rain.
You enjoyed that game, didn't you?
Yeah, there's 38 blokes rubbed out.
I love that rain. That was a fantastic night.
Have you dried off yet, Liam?
The suit's taken about 4 goes to get right, but it's just about right.
Okay, here's Shaw on the advance now. Very slow advance, I must say. And Cloak, he slides in. There's no one around to worry about there.
He wants to play on too. He'll go close.
I was going to say, it felt like he might be out of range, but grand final day kicked it this far.
Big arc. There it is. Look at that. Bang.
No, it's not going to be a goal. couple of flyers in there, including Wellingham, Blair, Rich. Bit of cuddling going on.
It has been a good contest, I reckon. Maguire and Travis Cloke. Cloke's
He's done it right, Maguire.
Yeah, he's worked pretty hard, Trav. He's had the 13 disposals, kicked the 2 goals, but Maguire's been there on every occasion to spoil.
Longer. Come over the top with a tap. Quick kick away from Polkinghorne. There's Merritt and Seedsman. And there's 1:19 remaining.
Shuri, how the Pie's going to look over the next month of football?
It's a big game Friday night, isn't it?
It's going to be a cracker.
Oh, boy. Yeah, there'll be, well, no tickets left, I would think.
The next 2 weeks are big ones up against the Cats. They'll be looking to bounce back after their loss to the Crows. And obviously the Crows are in great nick.
Amy Stadium will be going off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, what they've built up enough numbers now that you know they'll beat Gold Coast and Melbourne. So what are they, 5? What would it be? 5 and
they'll be 5 and 2 at the end of this.
5 and 2. So 7 and maybe 3 if they were to loss it nearly halfway. Not bad.
McKeever's kick into the middle, farmed off though by Reid.
Well read from Reid, just dropped off Brown and pushed over to the contest.
To O'Brien and Yagmore now. The release to the top of the square, Swan it up and over the top is Goldsack, who finds himself as a forward at the moment in the scheme of things.
And again, he hasn't had a big day, Goldsack, but he looks like he's dangerous forward. Yeah, absolutely. He jumps for the ball well. He's got a good reach. He's only had the 7 disposals, but looks likely.
Usually plays some sort of defensive capacity, even when he goes forward. He might end the day with, or the night with 3 goals. Add to his 2 goals from last week. And he squeezed that one through. More smiles for the Pies with 8 seconds remaining. They lead by 58 points.
I think you're right. I think he might have even on Anzac Day had the roll on Dustin Fletcher going back there a bit. So, look, he's got enormous athleticism. He's super quick when he gets into space. He's kicking and letting down. But I think he's matured. He's pretty sure he's in the leadership group at Collingwood now.
Yeah, that's a great effort if he's doing that. And it's a really good mark up forward. And Shuri, one of the damning things that come up when you looked at that month of football ahead is you go to Adelaide in 2 weeks. That's 2 travels in 2 weeks for Collingwood. There'll be an inquiry, won't there?
Oh, hey? You've got to get over that sort of stuff, Lynchy.
Jeez, you haven't done that for a while.
Haven't had a lot of success, so you're just getting a bit bitter in your old age.
All right, the game about to come to its conclusion, and it does. And the Collingwood fans rise as one to salute the 58-point victory here at the Gabba. 17-14, 116 to 8-10-58. Plenty of enthusiasm there as the Pies record their 5th win for the season.
Yeah, they look like they're really building towards a real tilt at a top 4 finish at the end of the year. Long way from there, but got some really impressive players out there. Side bottom was fantastic with 35. Dane Swan fought his way through a difficult patch in the second and early third quarters, finished with 34, and Pendlebury, after a quiet first term with 4 disposals, he had 33. They're a class act, and they look like they're well and truly on the right track with a few of these superstars coming back into the team.